Hello, chat. It's story time, that's right. It's been a long time since I read a fanfic. This one was actually recommended by Buntime. She liked it a lot. She thought it was just great. And she thought it would be a good idea for me to read it on stream. And I checked it out, and I agreed. Jumpy Bob and Grim Visionary, welcome back to the family. Thank you for 13 months, guys. Wow, thanks. Mike can read. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Batch time. Sharing her favorite fanfic. That's right. She read it while batching, I'm told. Oh. Whoa. Oh boy. Oh, here come the technical difficulties. Real early. Damn. Hold on a sec, guys. Real early. Fuck. Wow. Well, I had a surprise ready for you guys tonight. I was gonna use Tita's face rig, but the program crashed. So that's done. Not gonna start troubleshooting that now. Had it running for hours today, testing it out, and it just crashed. Damn, yeah, it just crashed. It definitely had something to do with OBS going live, I think. Because I had OBS open all day, and now... But welcome to technology, guys. Apologies. Wow, now it's... Damn, that's fucked up. Yeah. Yeah, that's fucking... That's lame. Alright, so scratch that. I still have the fanfic, though. Gray Arrival. Welcome back to the family. Thank you for 26 months of support, bub. No, I won't be doing any troubleshooting at this time. It was, you know what? It was funny. It was working really, really well all day long. And as soon as I went live, it crashed. That's wild. Yet not totally unexpected. Sad, yeah. Hager Chatham suggested a wellness check for Jeff Teardrich. Wellness check for this man. Icy's paper. Welcome back to the family. Thank you for 9 months support. Technology sure is a bitch, guys. Wow, I can't believe that crashed. After running perfectly and smoothly for hours. King Davy Do called this? How'd you call this? Nihilist Gangster calls it the OBS server effect. As soon as you start OBS, it fails. It's real, guys. And that's going to be a tricky thing to troubleshoot because it means I'm going to have to be live to troubleshoot that. Like, why isn't this program working while OBS is live specifically? That's going to be really, really tricky to troubleshoot. Church Arsonist, welcome back to the family. Welcome. Thank you for 2 months support. Humbled some garlic parmesan wings in my honor? You shouldn't have. I love that. Thank you. Local Orca, welcome back to the family. Thank you for 9 months. I said I was going to read a Harry Potter thing. Well, guys, I did say on New Year's Eve that this was going to be a more Christian stream from now on, didn't I? And guys, I'm happy to deliver on that right now with Hogwarts School of Prayer Miracles by Proud Housewife. Do you want your little ones to read books and they want to read the Harry Potter books, but you do not want to turn them into witches? Well, this is the story for you. This story has all the adventure of JKR's books, but will not lead your children astray. For concerned mommies everywhere, blessings, Grace Ann. Is this a troll? Is this ironic? I think we're all going to be asking that question throughout the course of this reading. I encourage everybody to come up with their own conclusions. And then maybe at some point we'll come to a final decision about whether or not we think it's ironic or a troll. All right, but for right now, just don't worry about it. The question is up in the air. Okay. Hello, friends. My name is Graysan. I'm new to this whole fanfiction thing, but recently I've encountered a problem that I believe this is the solution to. My little ones have been asking to read the Harry Potter books, and of course I'm happy for them to be reading, but I don't want them turning into witches. So I thought, why not make some slight changes so these books are family-friendly? And then I thought, why not share this with all the other mommies who are facing the same problem? So ta-da, here it is. I am so excited to share this with all of you. So without further ado, Raven Hollow, welcome back to the family. Thank you for 2 months. Poor fucking JK, man. She's just under assault from all sides of everything these days. This bitch can't catch a break, huh? Someone in chat says this has to be ironic because no one says witches. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? I want to show you something that I discovered while I was researching this here. Okay, so this was something that I came across in Google image search. Because, you know, I like to have a visual element to these streams. And actually, I came to the conclusion that tonight was going to be the face rig, but the face rig just shit the bed. So I now don't really have a visual element. I'm sorry. But this is a real thing that was on a Christian Facebook page that I found, okay? Are you involved in witchcraft and you don't even know it? Do you do any of the following? Horoscope. Yoga. Yoga. Chakras. Harry Potter. Tarot cards. Hypnotism. Acupuncture. Dude, Jesus was the original acupuncture patient. Right or wrong? How you gonna fucking say acupuncture isn't Jesus-ly? Dude, he was the ultimate acupuncturist. History. What do you mean acupuncture isn't Christian? Astrology, Ouija boards, psychic readings, numerology, Pokemon Go. A little bit of that Hypnospace Outlaw vibe, right? Pokemon, the ultimate gateway drug to hell. Lame Nero. Welcome to the family. Thank you for the sub. No, this is not a fucking troll. This was on a legitimate Facebook page, like a Christian moms group or some shit. These people are not fucking around. These people are not trolls. Like, this exists. Like, chat, back me up on this. Like, this is going on out there, as hard as it might be to believe. Rosary beads. Wait, rosary beads. Okay, maybe this is a troll. I didn't see rosary beads. Fortune cookies, superstition, dream catchers, feng shui, reincarnation, spirit guides, Halloween. If so, stop. It's all witchcraft. Repent and come back to Christ. Yeah, I didn't see the rosary beads on there. How could maybe somebody could make the argument that rosary beads aren't are sacrilegious somehow? Is that impossible? Lots of Protestants do believe that Catholicism is paganism. Yes, because they revere the saints. Lutherans, for example, think that they look at Catholics and their quote-unquote saint worship, and they're like, that's weird. Why do they worship saints? Why are there statues of the Virgin Mary everywhere? She's not God. There should only be statues of Jesus. Octane, thank you for the gift sub to VR Josh. Welcome to the family, VR Josh. But I shit you not, guys. I've seen instances. All right, not yoga. I think yoga might be going a little bit too far. But as far as horoscope, numerology, certainly Harry Potter, certainly, because it's witchcraft, right? Any form of fucking anything that glorifies witchcraft is going to be considered satanic. hypnotism, maybe acupuncture, because of like racism and xenophobia, maybe astrology. Yeah, I've seen that argument made many times. When I was in Catholic school, like I had my fucking teachers saying that astrology is fucking satanic. Absolutely. Like I remember that people saying that to my face. This is legitimate. Psychic readings as well. Absolutely. If you go to a psychic, that's a sin. You make Jesus sad if you go to see a fucking psychic, right? All of these things. Fortune cookies, again, xenophobia. Halloween, definitely in a lot of ways is considered to be pagan by Christians. So it's very easy for you to be involved in witchcraft and don't even know it, according to many of these fucking people. Many people are saying, if you go to a psychic, you're getting screwed out of your money. There's a lot of hypocrisy here, isn't there? Because who's number one all-time fucking world champion in fucking screwing people out of their money? Here's the hint. It's not psychics. Tessa Fox, welcome to the family. Also said spaghetti, welcome to the family. Yeah, a lot of it, you can find hypocrisy in a lot of this shit, but I do want to get to the fanfic reading. I'm just taking a look at these stupid pictures real quick. And how's this for a visual element? We'll have this. We'll occasionally return to this between chapters. Okay. But for right now, I want you to read along with me here. All right. So now, without further ado, once upon a time, there was a little boy named Harry Potter who lived under the stairs in a house on Privet Drive with his aunt and uncle. He was a good, obedient boy who did all his chores, but he felt that there was something missing in his life. Something big and special, but he could not quite name it. He stayed up every night and wished for this special something. But then one day, there was a knock at his door, and everything changed. "Answer the door, Harry!" His Aunt Petunia, a career woman, barked from her armchair where she sat with her feet up. She had short, curly blonde hair and never wore any makeup, because that would be whorish. Uncle Vernon nodded sheepishly from the kitchen and put a tray of moist, chocolatey brownies in the oven. "Shouldn't you be doing that?" Harry thought, but he was a very obedient young boy, so he answered the door right away. He turned the brass metal doorknob and pulled open the heavy wooden door. Oh boy, that's a lot of adjectives, maybe too many. On the porch was standing a huge, muscular man with a big manly beard, and he was dressed in a plaid red shirt, blue jeans, and sturdy leather boots. His chest was covered in a thick, unruly carpet of coarse brown hair. He wore a necklace that looked to Harry like a lowercase t. Just looking at Harry, feel happy, peaceful somehow, but he couldn't say why. "Good morning, kiddo!" The man greeted amiably and smiled at Harry. He had the peaceful, friendly sort of face you just knew you could trust. "My name is Hagrid. Could I speak to your mommy and daddy?" "I don't have a mommy or daddy," Harry replied sadly, and looked at his raggedy old shoes that were blue. Perhaps that was why he felt so lonely, he thought, but not for the first time. Maybe that was what he was missing, a mommy and daddy. But no, that was not quite right. "I'm so sorry to hear that," Hagrid uttered empathetically. "You can speak with me auntie and uncle," Harry retorted politely and blinked his big blue childlike eyes. "What do you want?" Aunt Petunia peered out the door with her narrow, suspicious eyes, and she was wearing a baggy, unflattering pantsuit. "Hello, neighbour. I was wondering if you had been saved," Hagrid exclaimed brightly, and tipped his wide-brimmed straw cowboy hat. Aunt Petunia laughed a gravelly laugh, and leaned forward on her sturdy, practical boots. "Saved? Don't tell me you're one of those Christians!" So Hagrid's a fucking Jehovah's Witness? Is that what I'm getting out of this? Harry did not know what the word meant, but Hagrid's smile was the most peaceful smile he had ever seen. It made Harry feel warm and happy inside, just seeing the glowing, radiant grin on the kind, friendly stranger's face. He wondered why Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon did not smile like that. It's because they don't have Christ in their life. I'm seeing some subs here. Toxic Avenger.
Welcome back to the family.
And I think I missed another one. I'm sorry. It's hard to read the thing and the chat. Is this a Christian rewrite of Harry Pothead? Kind of. I had assumed that they just took the book and then replaced certain words and things in there. But that would be illegal, wouldn't it? So I think that this is a complete rewrite. Oh, on that note, I want to really quickly point out to everybody. Remember how we were talking about Great Gatsby entering the public domain? Which somehow devolved into like Anne Frank versus Great Gatsby or whatever? Okay. Within the short amount of time that Great Gatsby has been in the public domain, somebody took the book, edited into it one paragraph, only like 5 sentences, of Great Gatsby making out with another male character, and then fucking re-uploaded it to the internet and changed absolutely nothing else. Did you guys see that? Just five sentences of Gatsby making out with another man, and then just back to the regularly scheduled Great Gatsby. In the book, it was basically canon. Is that true, Pengal? Snow Angel Pengal. Did you change that recently? I know this is really important, or isn't really important, but could you accept cookies so the bar goes away? Chad, I don't want the cookies. I'm trying to watch my figure. He kissed Tom in the new fanfic, not Nick Carraway. It was Tom. Yes. Well, that's it. Might as well give up any semblance of privacy that I thought I had to some fucking strangers on the internet. There it is. I accepted the cookies. My freedom is forfeit. C is not for cookies. Where was I in this? This is why I have to try very hard not to get distracted from the fanfic, because I will not be able to find my place again. Okay, he wondered why Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon did not smile like that. Here we are.
Yes, I am,
Hagrid replied kindly.
Are you?
Aunt Petunia laughed again, and stuck her pointy sharp nose up in the air.
We're too smart for that. Haven't you read Dawkins? God is dead. Dawkins proved that. Would you like us to educate you on the Dawkins?
What is a Christian?
Harry queried innocently, and scuffed his shoe on the shaggy yellow carpet, which had not been vacuumed in quite some time. Yeah, atheists don't have any sense of, like, personal hygiene. Yeah, filthy atheists. Exactly, Elier 58, exactly.
Christians are people who want to be good,
Hagrid explained wisely, and crouched down so he was on eye level with Harry.
We want to go to heaven after we die. Do you know what heaven is, Harry?
Harry shook his head, and his big eyes were wide and curious.
Heaven is a beautiful place where we could be with God.
Aunt Petunia smacked her hands over Harry's young ears, and her voice was sickly sweet when she said,
Thank you very much for your concern, sir. But he does not need your religion. He has science and socialism and birthdays. Haven't you heard of evolution? I have a very good textbook on evolution that I could give you on it if you would like to learn things.
Hagrid laughed wisely.
Evolution is a fairy tale. You don't really believe that, do you? Yes, I do.
Aunt Petunia screeched.
Well, then prove it.
Aunt Petunia could only stare at him, and her big mouth hung open dumbly. Here she thought she was so educated, and always demanded that Christians prove what they believed in. but she couldn't even prove her own religion. It was then that Harry knew who the smart one here was.
Tell me how to get to this heaven place.
Tell me how to get to this heaven place.
Harry cried wistfully, clasping his hands together. Sometimes the wisdom of little ones is really amazing. Atheist owned with facts and logic. Checkmate, your move. Yeah, you know what? I mean, they've got a point. I can't prove evolution on the spot. I can't. I can't. Fucking my whole worldview is shattered now. What am I gonna do? Oh my god. Back to the drawing board. My whole life has been a lie. Life over. Time to go back to the drawing board with soggy penis Jeff Teardrich. Itotu.
Welcome to the family, son.
Thank you. Hopeful Hours says, can you prove God on the spot? Of course I can prove God on the spot. Look at how great everything is all the time in the world that God made. And look at how great he treats his creation and all the people that he made, that he loves so much all the time. Great. Everything's so great down here. Man, I mean, how do you argue with that? We think grown-ups know it all, but then God speaks through the mouths of little ones and shows us how we are all mortals struggling along the path of life. Humility. Enjoy.
All you have to do is be saved. Do you want to be saved?
I do.
Harry squealed, jumping up and down.
Then pray the sinner's prayer.
Aunt Petunia tried to stop him, but she was powerless against Harry's pure, innocent, holy energy. Soon, Harry had said the prayer. Hagrid beamed happily.
You're a Christian now, Harry.
Hagrid cried proudly.
You're a wizard, Harry. I mean, you're a Christian, Harry.
That's all it takes, one prayer? Oh, it's not too late for us, guys. Harry smiled, but then interrogated.
But how do I be a Christian? I don't know how.
Hagrid grinned widely.
There's only one place to learn that. Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles.
Author's note. So what do you all think? I may not be a professional writer, but I think I am being given the talent to pull this off in service of a greater mission. Smiley face. Blessings, Grace Ann. Hi, can opener. There has to be a baptism, right? You know, I don't know. I know that for you to become Catholic, you have to be baptized, and like most of the Protestants have to be baptized. But like, there's got to be maybe one or two in there where they don't give a shit, right? Yeah, I guess Harry didn't have to be baptized. Baptism are for Catholics, Queen of Waffle says. Okay, then explain what the fuck a Baptist is, please. What is a Baptist? Are you gonna sit there and tell me that Baptists don't get baptized? No, they dunk you in the fucking river while everybody sings and shit. No, they do that, okay? People who like dunking children in water. Soggy children of Christ. Yeah, so what do we think, guys? This reeks of, this drips with sarcasm. It drips with, yeah. It drips with people who know what they're doing. Evolution is a fairy tale. You don't really believe that, dude. Yeah, it's... I'm pretty... Listen, I don't want to spoil anything, so I don't want to talk about it. Come to your own conclusions. I know a little bit more than you guys do about it, so I don't want to say anything. But I think either way, it's definitely gonna give us some chuckles. right? So let's just enjoy our chuckles and take another look at this while I move on to chapter 2. Chapter 2, New Horizons. Author's note. Hello, friends. I have been getting so many lovely, thankful messages from mommies everywhere. The usage of the word mommies is already very, very old. And I just want to say thank you for all your encouragement. However, I have also been getting several messages saying that my story is bad because Harry Potter is not just about witches. It is also about friendship and kindness and bravery. Friends, this is exactly what I've been saying. Harry Potter has many good things about it, but it still has witchcraft, so my children cannot read it. But that is why I am writing this, so they can have all the adventure and good morals of the Harry Potter books without all that bad stuff that is bogging it down. I mean, Matthew 3:12, am I right? So without further ado, on to chapter 2. Justurg says, can we get more awful fanfics in the future? Well, here's the thing about it, Justurg. I've been wanting to do this more for years. You know, I've done it a bunch of times. The problem is, the fanfics that are really, like, fun are few and far between. You know what I mean? Like, most of them are, like, just really upsetting and weird and disgusting and have awful things in them and don't lend themselves very well to doing something like this. So if you guys have appropriate fanfics that you want me to read, all you gotta do is just send them my way. But you're not gonna find many that are what I would call, like, quote-unquote safe for stream. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them are just... A lot of them have problems, man. Insurmountable problems where, like, we can't really sit here and laugh at it. You know what I'm saying? This is not one of them. Like, even Sonic High School had a lot of questionable fucking shit in it. You know, that was like, man, how am I going to really read that without upsetting a lot of people? I actually skipped a bunch of chapters in that fanfic reading, if you remember. So, I mean, send them if you got them.
Hogwarts School of Fairy Miracles?
Harry queried and clasped his hands. Just at hearing that name, he felt such a sense of inner peace. He wanted to have more of that peace, and he wanted to learn how to be a good Christian. He was starting to think that peace and being a good Christian were in fact the exact same thing.
I want to go there.
Right, a lot of it has slurs and NSFW stuff going on, and just... It's tough. I mean, I had... Certain people would censor some of the fanfics before sending them to me. I mean, it's a big job. I mean, I don't know if you want to do that shit. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Hagrid beamed widely. He had been praying so hard to save a soul today, and he was so happy to have saved the soul of such a sweet, earnest little one. The poor boy, being raised by two parents who were not Christian, and who both went to work and left him with a babysitter all day long. It was a good thing Hagrid had got there in time. 5 years down the road, Harry might have been a fornicating, drug-addicted evolutionist. It's not serious. It can't be.
Don't be silly, Harry.
Aunt Petunia commanded, and wrung her long, bony hands.
Come back inside. I will read to you about evolution from the Dawkins. You do not need that silly religion.
Harry scrunched up his innocent little face, and thought very hard. Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon were as close to parents as he had, and this was the only home he knew. Could he really leave? But he was saved now. He had prayed the sinner's prayer. He could not stay here not anymore, not with what he knew now. What the fuck? Suddenly, he knew what he had to do.
No, Aunt Petunia.
He uttered calmly, with childlike wisdom.
Evolution is not real. I am going to Hogwarts.
No, Harry.
Aunt Petunia screeched desperately.
I have an idea. You can have a second birthday today. You like birthdays, right?
Birthdays are not of God.
Harry verbalized knowingly, and looked at his aunt with an innocent wisdom.
You tried to corrupt me, but it did not work. But I forgive you, Aunt Petunia, because of Luke 23:34.
So he knows all the fucking Bible verses now? One prayer and he's an expert? Sad tissues.
Welcome back to the family, sir.
Thank you for 3 months support. And also, Undyne fan. Welcome back to the family. Thank you for 2 months.
You're a Christian, Harry.
Why are birthdays considered to be satanic now? I wonder if that's a thing that's floating around out there. That birthdays are maybe not satanic, but sinful somehow. Maybe because it's a day of the year that's not about Christ, it's about you. It is a thing. It is a thing. No fun allowed. It's a Jehovah's Witness thing. They believe every holiday is pagan, including birthdays. So Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate Christmas. I never knew this before. This is serious? So they recognize that originally Christmas is a pagan holiday. Well, listen. All of the holidays, all the Christian holidays are just co-opted pagan holidays. Or, you know, pagan. They're just fucking cannibalized from previous religions. And I guess Jehovah's Witness is like the only one of these religions that actually recognizes that or gives a shit. Which kind of makes me feel like they get a little bit of credit, but then, you know, also fuck that. Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in medicine because science is not above God. I don't want to hear anything more about these people because it's upsetting. Hagrid was amazed once again at the wisdom of little ones. He did not know if he could forgive someone who had hurt him, as much as this woman had hurt little Harry. Deny him the truth. Who could be so cruel? But Harry did not even think twice about it. He forgave, just like that. Truly, Hagrid gained a new understanding of Matthew 19:14 that day. Whoa, that's gonna get old.
Do not leave, Harry.
Dudley wailed childishly. Who's Dudley? Who the fuck is am I supposed to know who Dudley is? It's his cousin? So this woman's idea is that people who never read Harry Potter before would be able to, like, read this to their kid. She didn't introduce the character is where I'm going with this. So I guess she's just assuming that the people who were reading this had already read Harry Potter. She probably just didn't give a shit. She's just a bad writer. Or it's just, yeah, or it's fake.
I must.
Harry said, and stepped over the threshold.
Goodbye, Dursleys. I hope you are saved too one day.
And with that, he and Hagrid began to walk down Private Drive.
How will we get to this school, Hagrid?
Harry queried curiously.
We will pray.
Hagrid retorted knowledgeably.
How do we do that?
Harry solicited inquisitively.
Watch.
Hagrid said, and then got down on his knees on the road. He motioned for Harry to get down on his knees too. Hagrid raised his hands to the heavens and cried out in a deep, thunderous voice.
Dear Lord, take us to Hogwarts.
Drycrobe.
Welcome back to the family.
Yeah, there's no need for flying broomsticks when you could just fucking use the power of prayer to fucking fast travel wherever you want on the globe. But don't worry, guys. It's not magic. It's not witchcraft. It's Jesus. Harry felt himself being whisked away, and in a moment he was sitting in the cool, damp grass outside a humongous, beautiful castle. He looked in awe at the tall towers and the grey stones. What a beautiful place. A tall, thin man with a long pointed beard and wig, wire spectacles, stood in front of Harry. He was wearing a brown tweed suit and a nice matching hat. His shoes were made of leather and polished until they shone. He had a smile much like Hagrid's smile, so peaceful, Harry just knew he could trust him. A lovely, kindly young woman with flowing blonde hair and a pleasant heart-shaped face stood beside this holy man.
Hello there, little one.
The man greeted amicably.
I am the Reverend Albus Dumbledore, and this is my wife, Minerva. Welcome to Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles.
So Dumbledore is married to a woman. Just like God intended. Author's note. Blessings. Good. Retcon. You know what? That's totally fair. Because as far as I knew, J.K. Rowling retconned the fucking fact of Dumbledore being gay at all in the first place. There's no fucking gay Dumbledore in the books. There's no part of the Harry Potter books where Dumbledore fucking sucks a big fat pee-pee. That doesn't happen anywhere in the fucking Harry Potter book. There's no mention anywhere, any reference of anything of Dumbledore being gay, or there's no hint of anything remotely relating to Dumbledore being gay. And I didn't read these books, but I know that because the internet was very loud about that. Right? There's no gay Dumbledore, and then like what, years after the books were published, J.K. Rowling was like, yeah, Dumbledore's gay. Also, all the wizards shit on the floor and then use a spell to clean it up. No, sorry, they shit their pants and then use a spell to teleport the poop out of their pants and into, I don't know, a septic tank that's underneath the castle somewhere. I believe the exact phrasing was, they vanish it away. Which to me is, it gets transported somewhere. It doesn't just get dissipated. You know, matter and energy can only be moved. Matter can never be deleted. Man, what's the phrase that I'm looking for? Matter can never be removed or created. What is it? They warp it all to the state of Ohio into a big tower that is adjacent to the Goodyear tire factory tower, clock tower in Akron, Ohio. Why is there a bathroom ghost if bathrooms don't even need to exist? Guys, it's J.K. Rowling, alright? She's fucking insane. She's fucking insane. Don't worry about it. Chapter 3. Dinner time. Oops. Hello, friends. I have struggled a lot about whether or not to keep going with the story. But with a lot of praying, my husband and I have decided it is the right thing to do. We want our little ones to have good Christian literature to read, and in this modern world, sometimes that can be hard to come by. So I will just have to make do.
Pleased to meet you, Reverend Dumbledore.
Harry replied enthusiastically and got to his feet.
This sure is a beautiful place you have here.
The Reverend beamed.
Why, thank you, little one.
His voice had a distinctive southern twang to it that made Harry feel so safe and welcome. He knew in that moment that the Reverend was a man of God.
This poor little one was being raised in a terrible situation,
Hagrid declared concernedly. Concernedly? Word or not, guys? Word or not? You know what? There's so much Christian bullshit out there where if you really want to raise your kids Christian, you don't need to do this. I guess it was a middle ground because her kids wanted to read Harry Potter so badly, but she wouldn't let them. So it was like a compromise. Like, okay, I'll rewrite Harry Potter specifically. But there's so much bullshit out there for you if you really do feel that way. It's Michael. It's a shit post. I'm getting that.
He was watched by a babysitter every second of the day. His aunt saw him as part of her perfect life package, like the big house, the fancy career, the speedy car.
Dumbledore shook his head sadly.
Too bad no one told her. Parenting should be about the children, not the parents. That's why it's...
Oh, it's a southern accent. Hold on.
Too bad no one told her. Parenting should be about the children, not the parents. That's why it's called parenting. Welcome to the family, sir.
I'll make him, CJ from Animal Crossing. Hagrid nodded wisely. Dumbledore turned to Harry and announced authoritatively.
Now, you can start your classes tomorrow morning. Today you can get settled into your dormitory. But first, why don't you eat dinner with my family and me?
Really?
Harry gasped excitedly.
I've never had a family dinner before.
The word has parenting. Too bad no one told her parenting should be about the children, not the parents. That is why it is called parenting. I didn't even catch that because I was too focused on the accents. Boring and not funny is in the chat. And they're saying, I had a teacher who edited the entirety of the original Star Wars trilogy to be completely devoid of violence for their children to watch. They just stood there with lightsabers and talked. What? Really? Like conscientious objector Jedi? Like, is that really a... Wow. So, but that doesn't make sense. Like, there must have been... So many problems were resolved with violence in that series, right? Like, what... The name of the name of the series is Star Wars. How do you remove the wars from Star Wars? That's just Star at that point. Speak softly and carry a big laser sword. Star conversations. They're not. You're just talking about the prequels at that point. Dude, if you remove any, if you remove anything exciting from the Star Wars movies and have only dialogue, then it's just the prequels. That's just... It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground and the power of Jesus Christ on my side. What did they do about Order 66? Well, to be fair, they don't show you... Well, it was the original trilogy that they did it with. Speak softly and carry a big stick. Well, we know that he was referencing Buffalo Cock when he said big stick, right, Harrispo? We figured that out during one of the Raft streams. We gotta get back to this fic. Hold on. Here we go.
Why don't you come with us then?
Dumbledore cried kindly, and then got down on his knees. Everyone else did the same, raising his large, massive, manly hands up to the heavens. Dumbledore bellowed in a voice even louder than Hagrid's had been.
Lord, please take us into the kitchen.
I can't fucking... Guys, the fucking whiplash between, Southern accent and the British accent is breaking my brain.
Lord, please take us to the kitchen.
Suddenly, they all found themselves in a tasteful, decorated kitchen. His large, massive yowie hands, yeah.
Wow.
Harry shouted in awe. He was still getting used to the power of prayer. Sometimes, we take the wonderful things the Lord gives us for granted, and it takes a newcomer to the fold for us to understand just how blessed we are.
That was amazing.
Hagrid smiled knowingly.
God is an amazing guy.
He sure is.
The Reverend's wife chuckled before getting down to her knees and raising her own hands upwards.
Dear Lord, please set the table with the sky blue cloth and the Sunday dishes, and please give us biscuits fried golden brown, and gravy, creamy mashed potatoes, and great Aunt Eleanor's corn casserole, corn on the cob slathered with butter, and for dessert, some chocolate raspberry cookies.
All of these things appeared on the table exactly as the Reverend's wife had asked for them. Masterfully prepared and delicious smelling. Harry's mouth dropped open. Truly, this woman was a real Proverbs 31 wife.
Hermione!
The Reverend summoned loudly.
Dinner time!
Immediately, and with cheerful obedience, an 11-year-old girl in a pretty pink dress with a matching bow came running down the stairs. She ran over to her father and gave him the winning smile that daughters have.
Welcome home, Daddy.
She smiled and then turned to his wife.
Can I help at all with the dinner, Mommy? It is all prepared, thanks be to God.
Her mother retorted gracefully. Hermione nodded knowingly.
Hermione, I would like for you to meet Harry Potter, our newest student at Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles.
Dumbledore introduced magnanimously.
Harry, I would like you to meet Hermione Granger, my beloved daughter.
Pleased to meet you.
Hermione responded sweetly with a shy grin. So now Hermione is Dumbledore's daughter. For some reason. Okay. Harry could barely respond. This was the most beautiful young woman he had ever come across. So different from all the girls in public school who were focused on trying to be like the career women they saw on The Sex and the City. Okay. This little one was the picture of innocence and godliness.
Now,
Dumbledore pronounced genitally.
Let's eat.
Trad and based. So is trad just kind of like a Zoomer term for traditional? I know, I said genitally because I thought it would be funny. It's not what it actually says there. Trad wife? Trad is loving cat boys. Oh, okay. Trad cat is a term I keep seeing. Like traditional Catholic wife. Trad wife. Barefoot and okay, I don't care. I'm checked out. Yeah, I'm checked out of that. Yeah, it's not for me. As the holy men, women, and little ones dug into the delicious manna the Lord had granted them, the conversation amongst the adults turned to darker topics. Harry listened intently, as he did not understand it, but he was very interested.
Dark days are coming.
Hagrid pronounced gravely around a mouthful of casserole.
Evil forces are coming into this world, and the little ones at Hogwarts may be our last resort.
Psalm 127:5.
Dumbledore referenced solemnly, and the others around the table nodded knowingly. Hogwarts might be the last hope for the forces of good in this world. Blessings. Blessings to you, chat. Just want to make sure everybody sees this. You can't just say a psalm name and expect people to get it. Well, here's the thing about referencing psalms like that without saying the actual context of the psalm. It's like anybody who doesn't know it already is not your audience anyway. Maybe that's the mentality. Like, if you don't understand what I'm referencing when I reference that psalm, then you're not worth fucking speaking to at all. Maybe that's their attitude. But at the same time, aren't you trying to like, convert people into it. Maybe there's something in Psalm 125, whatever, that is like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Maybe I'll check out this Bible thing and give it a shot. They could hyperlink it or something. I'm starting to think that might not be the point. It's gatekeeping, like the church is gatekeeping itself. The church is trying to keep out all the atheists, and that's why they're... Oh, God, that doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, he doesn't know Psalm 125. Get his ass.
Fake Christian! How does he not know Psalm 125?
I don't even know how to say that word. Psalm? Psalm. He doesn't know Psalm 125. Get his ass. Psalm. I'm gonna pronounce it Psalm, okay, guys? Psalm 125. Author's note. Hello, friends. I apologize for being gone for so long. One of my little ones came down with pneumonia, so of course my life has been nothing but doctor's appointments and chicken soup. And that's on top of all the other work a mommy has to do. I had nearly forgotten about this little story of mine when I sat down to catch up on my email, and lo and behold, there were dozens of messages from this lovely site. Now, of course, there were some hateful messages that made me very sad. But for every review posted by an evolutionist with a bee in his bonnet, there were 3 lovely private messages from other mommies out there thanking me for doing the Lord's work. Wow. I know when the Lord is telling me something. So here is another chapter for all you mommies out there and all you non-believers spreading hatred. Well, let's see if you aren't converted by the time this story's over. Could happen. When the delicious filling dinner had ended, Harry wiped some last tasty cookie crumbs from the sides of his mouth. He was very full and very tired. Discovering the truth, being saved, and coming to Hogwarts, it had certainly been a long day for this little one. It could happen, cheeky chimera. You just don't know. Is that a threat? Sounds like a threat, yeah. If you aren't converted by the time this story's over, I'll fucking kill you. Forever baptized and loving it. The Reverend's wife. Let me get this accent right. You look like you could use a good night's sleep, the Reverend's wife commented daintily.
How would you like to move into...
Nope, that's British, Michael. You have to do Southern, okay.
How would you like to move into your dormitory?
There you go. Nailed it.
I would love to.
Harry cried cheerfully. He was so excited to become a student here, and he was so grateful for the opportunities the Lord had given him. Sometimes, people who have done without are the most grateful.
Hermione, why don't you show our newest student to the dormitory?
Dumbledore suggested wisely.
I'd love to, Daddy.
Hermione replied obediently with an innocent girlish smile, and got to her feet and smoothed out the skirt of her becoming pink frock.
Should I clean the kitchen first? I could take care of that tonight,
the Reverend's wife answered indulgently, and she was already beginning to clear the elegant porcelain dishes that had DDD porn on them.
Thank you, Mommy.
Hermione shouted gratefully, and she walked over to Harry.
Would you please come with me?
Harry blushed shyly and got to his feet. His aunt had never taught him how to talk to pretty girls. She always said that pretty girls were shallow and not very smart, and that a real woman put her career first and didn't care about her looks. But it only took one look at this godly young girl to realize just how wrong that was. A woman taking pride in her appearance is honoring the Lord, because after all, it is the Lord who gave her a pretty face and nice hair. Taking care of that is important. Harry got the feeling that Hermione was as beautiful on the inside as she was on the outside. So, guys, I'm really fucking confused. Because... So the idea is... You want to put on makeup and look nice for your husband? Because that's like the godly thing to do? But why do I feel like that doing that would be like considered sinful? Because it's, you know, provoking men who like look at tampons and get horny? Which is not helpful. Remember how that guy said that was not helpful? So what is it? Like, you're supposed to look hot? Or like you're not supposed to? I don't understand. Which is it? Which is... What do they want? What do they want? Tampons that conjure thoughts of mischief. Remember that? Clyde? Surely that person was also making those tweets ironically. Surely. Certainly. They were ironic tweets. They had to be. The two little ones stepped out into the brisk, chilly night, and for a few minutes, they were both silent. Harry did not think it was possible for this sweet, demure girl to be as nervous as he was, but going by the silence, perhaps she was a little nervous herself. After a few minutes, Hermione welcomed shyly. Dude, it's like every fucking other sentence, there's an ly word, like an ly adjective to describe dialogue or something. I hate it.
Welcome to Hogwarts. It is a wonderful place, and we really are so glad to have you here.
Harry's face reddened as they crossed an expansive, flowery field. They were going in the direction of a cluster of imposing stone academic-looking buildings.
Thank you.
He muttered happily.
It is beautiful, and it feels very holy.
He verbed adverbally. Yeah.
It is!
Hermione commented enthusiastically, and her chocolate-colored, carefully curled tresses were bouncing along with her steps.
My father is a very godly man, and to spread the word of God is his greatest dream.
Truly, that is a noble dream.
Harry responded gravely, with wisdom beyond his years. What is this constant insistence that children have more wisdom than adults? What is this endless insanity that I keep seeing in this fanfic? This is a thing among these people where they really think that, like, oh, from the mouths of babes type shit. I understand that this may well be a shitpost, but it's rooted in something real. Don't forget that. You know, this is a shitpost with a point, if it's a shitpost, right? Very obviously. From the mouths of babes type of thing. Innocence being glorified, Dollar Hides is saying. Is that what this is? That's where this comes from? You know, my fucking nephew, like, threw his sister's tablet in the toilet. He threw his sister's fucking iPad in the toilet. What was the wisdom of that? Explain that wisdom to me. Technology bed? Yeah. He was protesting Section 230. Lady Goggles. Welcome back to the family. Thank you for the resub. They walked for a few more minutes in silence. Eventually, they reached the end of the lovely green meadow.
The boys' dormitory is this way.
Hermione exposited knowingly, and with the innocent, casual affection so often found in children, she grabbed Harry's hand, and she led him around the edifice of classrooms. She grabbed his hand. Chat, calm down. Relax. Moderators, get the hammers ready. We're trying to keep a Christian here tonight. Harry was so nervous, he could not think of anything to say. His brain fumbled for the perfect Christian thing to say, but before he could even manage a word, Hermione came to a stop in front of a tall stone tower.
This is the boys' dormitory.
The devout young woman explained kindly, and she gestured to the heavy oak door beside them.
I would show you inside, but I would hate to cause a scandal.
I understand.
Harry declared graciously. Too many young men these days pressure young women into things undesired and forbidden. It is the mark of a true old-fashioned gentleman to respect the fact that every young woman is another man's future wife. And we all know that it would be a dreadful, terrible sin to bring another man's wife into intimacy. Well, why does modern culture suddenly treat that as okay, simply because he does not have her yet? Man's laws may permit it, but the laws of the Lord are not bound by time. You know, man, it may very well be a shit post and all that, but I want to reiterate, what makes it funny is the fact that there's people who legitimately fucking believe this shit. There's people who legitimately fucking believe this shit. Like, there are people, you could link this to them, and they would read it and nod and be like, yes, of course, yeah, right. This is fucking great. I'm gonna read this to my kids. Because this is exactly what the fucking doctor ordered. Cuckolding is against the Lord. How many people here are in a relationship of any kind, and their partner has ever been with another person? Congratulations, you're all cucks. Devo mention.
Welcome to the family.
You're all cucks. By that logic, I have been cucked so many times in my life. I'm a mega cuck by that logic. I'm fairly certain everybody I've ever been with has been with somebody before me, which makes me a cuck like fucking 20 times over. So, like, I mean, fuck. We're all cucks. I'm sorry, guys. I found out when you did. I found out when you did. We're all cucks. Cuckception. What if we've never dated? No, then you're a good Christian and you're going to heaven. Does this mean Christians are the biggest cucks of all? Not if they do what they're supposed to do. You know? Not if they're following this shit. This is probably one of those things where most people don't even fucking acknowledge this. Like, let me ask you a serious question, man. I read the Bible. It was just a very long time ago, right? And I had to because of school. So I didn't really pay attention to it. Is there anything going on in the Bible where it tries to tell you that, you know, if somebody has premarital sex, then that's like actually a sin? Or was that just like a post fucking Bible interpretation, like hundreds of years later interpretation of it? Because I have a feeling it was probably That's just how people are interpreting it. I don't think it says it in there. Matthew 69. You're just making that up. It's in nice 69. There's my answer. Okay. The Old Testament probably kills women that have sex. Yeah. When it comes to Christians, though, I like to go by, did Jesus say it or not? I feel like this is a thing that Jesus probably never said. Caucasus 4:13. The Old Testament says you can't eat shellfish and everything. Yeah, I like to... When it comes to Christians, I like to look at... did Jesus say it? Or would Jesus be about it based on what I know about Jesus? And when I read the Bible in school, there was more of a focus on the New Testament, It was a Catholic school. Jesus forgave a prostitute, right? Jesus, hung out with, mostly hookers. Guys, Jesus was a hippie. Look at the 60s. Jesus embraced, 60s mentality. It's fucking true. If you look at the 60s counterculture movement, a lot of it just... It's fucking love your neighbor and forgiveness and other cheek and just, chill out, man. He had fucking long hair and he smoked weed and all that. It's exaggerating a lot. I don't think they had weed. Was weed invented yet? I don't think Jesus would like Christianity. I mean, there's arguments to be made there. The Bible considers using a public restroom to be a sin. Look at all the commodification of, religion nowadays, right? Especially in Christianity. Look at all the merch. And then you have Jesus throwing over the tables. I mean, the hypocrisy has been pointed out so many times that there's really no reason to spend any more time on it. There's not. It's there for anybody who wants to see it. The burning bush was a weed plant, so Moses got a contact high. Don't forget that shit was pre-Jesus. You're talking about Old Testament stuff. Jesus was kind of a dirty hippie, and he was a boomer. Because what did hippies turn into? Boomers. Those people are boomers now. You understand that? Therefore, Jesus is a boomer. And would have had boomer ideals and a boomer mentality. Which is just, it's all very ironic, isn't it? Frankincense was weed? Frankincense wasn't weed. It was just incense. Frankincense. Jesus is a hippie boomer. That's what that's the argument that I'm trying to make, yeah. Jesus is the coolio neighbor that shares you his weed stash. Fred Knudsen is here. He says, me incense. Frank was Jesus's dealer. I have to get back to the fanfic. I lost my place. Where was it? Does anybody know where I was? All right. Oh, this hell of a paragraph. Man's laws may permit it, but the laws of the Lord are not bound by time. Hermione moved to push open the imposing large door, but she struggled with the knob. It was quite a heavy door. But Harry was a good devout Christian now. He would not have a young godly girl struggling to open a door which he was perfectly capable of opening himself. With the simple faith so often seen in little ones, Harry got down on his knees and lifted his hands skyward and shouted prayerfully,
Dear Lord, please open these doors and allow me to enter my new home.
with a loud, thunderous boom that echoed throughout the expansive, beautiful campus. The doors crashed open. Harry stood up piously as Hermione's jaw dropped. Now, she knew for certain that this was truly a man of the Lord. So yeah, Hermione was too weak to open the door. But instead of Harry doing it himself, he got God to do it? This is a good question. How do you stand piously? Like, I could see, like, kneeling piously. Like, I'll buy that. But standing piously? King Fluffles. Welcome back to the family. Thank you for 3 months of subbing. Yeah, Spaghetti Puncher. They're incapable of using the word said. Remember at one point Stephen King went on a huge rant about that? He was like, I don't understand why writers nowadays can't just use the word said. Like, it's okay, I promise. You can just use the word said. Nothing bad will happen. Right, saidly.
Wait, Harry!
Hermione said saidly. Said saidly, I like that. Harry was about to step inside when Hermione grabbed his arm. He blushed once more.
Wait, Harry!
Hermione uttered quickly. There's
something you should know!
What is it?
Harry queried questioningly.
My father says that dark times are coming.
Hermione spoke worriedly.
There is a man named Voldemort who wants to destroy all that we stand for. He is pushing an agenda in Congress, which will stop us from practicing our faith freely.
Well, that is what our founding fathers built this nation for.
Harry cried indignantly.
The freedom of religion.
Voldemort doesn't care.
Hermione remarked sadly, and she shook her head.
And he is gaining power. The freedom of Christians to practice our faith is disappearing by the day. Soon it will be like it was in Rome.
Lovely ladylike tears began to roll down her delicate, terrified face.
And I don't like lions.
Hold on. People in chat are saying that I should make all the voices southern, but I think it's dumber the way I'm doing it. I like it dumb. You know, I like it to be dumb as shit. Yeah, it's dumber this way. I tried to adjust the volume of the music in between songs, and I made it deceptively loud. Make all the voices, Bowsette voice? No. Yeah, the shitty British voices make it better, I think. This is a lot to take in. Wow.
It will be all right.
Harry reassured manfully.
We would just need to pray really, really hard. That's why we're here after all.
You're so brave.
Hermione pronounced admiringly, and she wiped the tears from her eyes. She flung her arms around Harry's neck.
Thank you for giving me courage.
She breasted boobily. Manfully. Manfully. Harry reassured manfully. Yes! Oh, fuck yeah. Harry patted her head before departing and entering his new home. He patted her head, guys. He patted her head. It wasn't until the doors had closed behind him that he realized that he did not know where he was supposed to sleep. The tower consisted of an old stone staircase winding up the steep, sacred walls. and there were doors leading into each bedroom off of the stairway corridor. Harry felt very lost for a moment, but a quick prayer showed him the way. So when in doubt, you just pray. That just solves everything all the time in this universe. Manly is already an adverb because it ends in ly. Yeah, but you can't do something manfully. So this person had to invent a new word. I, for one, think this word is awesome. And I'm going to be integrating it into my daily vernacular from here on out. As he collapsed into his bed, very tired from such an eventful day, he thought about the days that were coming. It was truly a good thing that the Lord had called him when he did. It doesn't say blessings, though. Damn. Manful, meaning it's full of man? Absolutely overflowing with men. Hi, Zifanfi. How many chapters of this are there? 14. And we're on chapter 5. We're probably not gonna read all this tonight. We'll probably do another stream of it. Tawny Owl says, I hate to be no fun, but I'm pretty sure this is ironic at this point. This is certainly... Yes, this is certainly ironic. But, full steam ahead. The show must go on, unfortunately. Hello, friends. I'm very sorry if this chapter is a bit shorter than usual. Because just as soon as one sick little one gets better, wouldn't you know it, another one starts running a fever. Phew. A mommy's life sure is exhausting. I wasn't planning on posting another chapter until things had settled down. But the hubby says the work of the Lord doesn't wait for the whims of men. So you can all thank Ephesians 5:22-24 for the speedy update. Ooh, and on that note, some of you lovely readers have requested me to write down the Bible verses after each chapter. Well, far be it from me to not spread the word of the Lord. Weren't we just complaining about that? Another question I have gotten in the original books, Harry Potter and friends frequently question authority. And how do I feel about this? Ghost Host, welcome back to the family. Thank you for 33 months, bud. Well, that is quite a toughie you've asked me. I talked to the hubby about it, and we agreed that usually it is good to obey authority, but when authority is acting contrary to the Lord, you should talk to that authority about it. Acts 5:29. You just might see authority figures making bad decisions in this chapter. Nobody is perfect except the Lord. No, not even Dumbledore. No matter what the original books told you, and how Harry Potter handles this will be a big question in the story. Hint, it will be very different than in the original books. And finally, I got a PM from a lovely friend who was a bit confused. So I'll just clear this up now. I do not own the original books, and those belong to J.K. Rowling. So without further ado, Harry Potter woke up drowsily in a comfy, fluffy mattress. It was only now that he had the energy to observe his surroundings. The room was small, but also everything a little boy needed. There was a big, warm fireplace in the grey stone wall across from him. A shelf of intelligent, age-appropriate books. The Holy Bible was in the center of the shelf, of course. There was a simple wood dresser of respectable, school-appropriate attire. And of course a clean porcelain sink for washing up and brushing teeth and such. It was only then that our hero noticed there was another bed in the room. It was the same as his own bed, except that this other bed had not been made. Also, this bed had its own Bible in it, and it looked different from the one on the shelf. But where was this new roommate of his? Harry looked behind him to see a small, pallid young boy with shockingly bright red hair, kneeling with seeming piety as he prayed to a small statue. At this shocking sight, I already see where this is going. Harry felt a horror, but he quickly composed himself and declared bravely,
Hello, friend. My name is Harry Potter, and I take it that we are roommates. What's your name? What's your name?
Ronald Weasley, the other boy responded friendlily. Friendly. And he reached out a hand to shake. We were just talking about this. Welcome to Hogwarts. I am a Christian too.
Really?
Harry exclaimed delightedly and clasped his hands together.
This is joyous news.
Ronald smiled deviously, and Harry remembered that he had just seen this boy praying to a statue, and he wondered why that would be. But he was new to this whole Christianity thing, and maybe that was okay. Still, it didn't feel quite right. He bravely resolved he would bring it up with Dumbledore. Would you like to come with me to breakfast? Ronald queried politely as he got up from the statue he had been kneeling in front of. They have delicious food here in the Great Hall.
Would I ever?
Harry cried delightedly, and he bolted out of bed and brushed his teeth and washed his face. This little one certainly had a healthy appetite. In a jiffy, Harry and his new friend had joined the stream of young lads on the steep, winding stairs heading to breakfast. They could smell the aroma of breakfast from the Great Hall, and it wafted right into their noses. Before they knew it, they were all sitting in the Great Hall. Come sit with me and my family, Ronald offered eagerly as he motioned frantically toward a table packed full of people with hair just as red as his. Come on, I can't wait for them to see that I have made a new friend. Harry followed Ronald with the obedience of one who does not have many friends in a new situation. Oh, what a difficult circumstance that can be, and how many believers have been led astray by those situations. Guys! Ronald screeched joyously as he pulled Harry toward the table of his family. This is Harry Potter, and he's my new roommate.
Hello, Harry.
The Weasleys chorused in unison.
Welcome to Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles. Hello?
Harry stammered shyly. Something about this group made him nervous.
Nice to meet you.
He sat down at their table. He could smell a delicious breakfast. But where was the food? No sooner had the thought crossed his mind when the Reverend Dumbledore came into the Great Hall stage and dropped down to his knees and raised his hands skyward and screamed.
Dear Lord, please provide these devout young ones with 3 strips of bacon or links of sausage, each 2 for the ladies, a bowl of hearty oatmeal flavored with cinnamon, and apple chunks, 2 poached eggs cooked all the way through, home fries seasoned with garlic, a glass each orange juice and milk, and dishes up to the task.
Harry was once again amazed to see the food appear in front of him. The food looked and smelled amazing. He suspected good old Minerva had something to do with this delicious spread. But before he dug into the food, he remembered that he had something to discuss with the Reverend. Harry fought his nervousness, and he ran after Dumbledore as he hopped dexterously off the stage.
Excuse me,
the young believer cried innocently as he ran after the Reverend as fast as his little legs could carry him.
Excuse me, Reverend.
What is it, son?
The Reverend reiterated kindly. He was dressed respectably in sturdy, manly jeans and a red, white, and blue plaid shirt over which a few virile tresses were visible, and a pair of admirable brown cowboy boots.
You settling in all right?
To be fair, red, white, and blue are also the colors of the Union Jack. So, you know.
I sure am.
Harry retorted graciously.
How are things with your family?
Very well.
Replied Dumbledore knowledgeably. And he was impressed with this little one's manners.
Was there something you wanted to talk to me about?
Well,
Harry began uncomfortably, and he scuffed his blue-sneakered foot against the polished wood floor of the Great Hall.
I woke up this morning and saw my roommate praying to a statue. Is that really an okay thing to do?
Well, that is real toughy.
Dumbledore answered ponderously.
Well, I don't worship idols. It is, in fact, a very unchristian thing to do. But you see, here at Hogwarts, we divide ourselves up into sorting hats. That's how they're doing it. That's how they're doing it.
Oh, I don't want to use the Lord's name in vain because I think there's like too much of that happening here already. I'm gonna get fucking smote by lightning tonight.
After breakfast, all the new little ones will choose their hats. Each of the different hats have different beliefs, but we all love the Lord. And what more in common do you need?
That does sound true.
Harry pondered sensitively.
But is it really? It seems that if we all really love the Lord, we don't need to divide ourselves. Are the divisions between the different hats really so significant as to merit dividing Christianity? What are these divisions?
Well, they are somewhat significant.
Dumbledore allowed tentatively.
For instance, I'm a Gryffindor hat. We believe everything in the Bible, and only the Bible. That red-headed roommate of yours is a Slytherin hat. That's a cat.
Catholics are Slytherin. And they made Ron Weasley a Slytherin.
And Slytherins worship statues?
Harry queried innocently. The Reverend nodded gravely.
Then how are they Christian?
Harry questioned skeptically.
What about Exodus 24:6? That's a Ten Commandment.
Well, they have different commandments.
Dumbledore explained well-meaningly.
They love the Lord. That's all we need.
What the fuck are you talking about? They don't have different commandments. What? Since when? It's not even correct. Right? Spacebone says, I feel like I died, and this is just my orientation in hell before it all kicks off. It's the same. The Old Testament is not different from, like, version to version of the fucking... Is it? It's not, right? The Old Testament especially is always the same. So what the fuck are they talking about? There are 2 other houses, Good Toad says. I'm excited. Yeah, who knows what it could be? The fanfic is making us question reality.
But do they really love the Lord?
Harry posited timidly.
If they do, then why do they worship statues?
Dark days are coming,
Dumbledore replied earnestly.
We need to be inclusive. If there were only Gryffindor hats at Hogwarts, then there would not be many people left.
I see.
Harry conceded uncertainly. Uncertainly. As he walked back to Ronald's overcrowded table, he was getting nervous about this hat business, but he supposed he did have to trust Dumbledore. After all, grown-ups know best, right? Oh, fucking hell. Oh, fucking hell. Where is this going? Where is this going? Here's the Bible verses that were referenced up there. I don't want to read them. I've done enough Bible reading in my life. Lady Goggles brings up a great point. Overcrowded table surely has nothing to do with the stereotypes of Catholics. Right. Every sperm is sacred. Every sperm is good. Every sperm is great. Sorry. Every sperm is sacred. Every sperm is good. If a sperm gets wasted, every sperm is great. If a sperm gets wasted, God gets quite irate. That's the lyrics. Mike, this is my immortal, but with God instead of Satan. Chapter 6, Sorting Hats. Hello, friends. I apologize to people whose private messages I haven't been able to reply to, but things are awful busy here in Fort Parsons. And a mommy's work is never done. Many thanks to those lovely friends who have asked about the little ones. It looks like the second sickie did not have pneumonia after all, and it was just the flu. It was a rough few days, but now all the little Parsenses are in tip-top shape. Phew! Oh, thank the Lord. Harry Potter walked back to the table of redheads. It was only now that he noticed that they were all wearing black and green baseball caps with snakes on them. Tentatively, Harry sat down next to Ronald, who was not wearing a hat, since he, like Harry, was new. So the sorting hats are fucking baseball caps.
So,
Harry began nervously, as he bit into a thick, juicy slice of perfectly fried bacon.
what sorting hat do you think you will choose?
Oh, I will definitely choose Slytherin, Ronald declared confidently, and he began to eat his oatmeal with his hands. Total Ron move, though. She nailed the character. You gotta give her that. By the way, do you guys like my Ron voice? My whole family is Slytherins. I don't know where it came from. I know it's dumb as shit. I have no idea where I got this from. He gestured to the countless redheads sitting at the table, and they all turned to Harry and smiled and waved. You should become a Slytherin too. We could do it together. Harry uttered ponderously, as he took a bite of eggs.
Why don't you tell me what Slytherins believe?
Sure, Ronald replied ecstatically, and he kept eating his oatmeal. Well, first of all, we believe in the Bible.
That is wonderful.
Harry reacted happily, and he took a sip of his orange juice.
I do as well. Perhaps I could be a Slytherin after all.
But wait, that is not all. Ronald continued excitedly, and washed his oatmeal down with milk. Gryffindor hats believe in the Bible too, but Slytherins have even more. We have a book full of guidelines on how to be a good person, and a whole panel of Slytherin hats to tell us what to do. Harry furrowed his innocent childish brow, and he took another bite of oatmeal, and he questioned confusedly.
Why do you need all that if you have the Bible?
Ronald guffawed, and he shoveled more oatmeal into his mouth, and he replied, Why only have the Bible when you could have more? Why, that would be like only praying to God. Harry gasped in horror as he bit into more bacon.
Of course I only pray to God. Who else would I pray to?
What about Mary? Ronald posited angrily around a mouthful of oatmeal. You have to at least worship to her.
You mean the mummy of our Lord?
Harry demanded in scandal, and he chewed his bacon.
I don't worship her.
Well then, God hates you! Ron stated simply, and pieces of bacon flew out of his mouth as he did so. Man, I went to Catholic school. I don't remember encountering that attitude. Like, that is an exaggeration. Nobody feels this way, man. I'm telling you, I've been around Catholics my whole life, and nobody feels this way. If people are walking around acting like this, I haven't met these people. Yeah, this is an exaggeration, man. It's fucking dumb. They're writing every other religion is evil. Yeah, they are. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, what sect is the author meant to be? What Protestant flavor are they? Because even the different Protestants have different things going on between them that they don't like. The biggest thing too among Protestants, and this has always been since Martin Luther nailed the thesis on the door or whatever. Since Martin Luther King Jr. went to the church and nailed the thesis, I have a dream thesis on the church door in the 1960s. Ever since that happened, the big thing has more or less been... That doesn't sound right. The main thing has more or less been... Fuck the Pope, chiefly. Who the fuck is the Pope? Why do you pay any kind of mind to the Pope? The Pope... And then, in America, it became this thing of... Well, no, fuck. In medieval Europe, it became this thing of... Why are you letting, like, a foreign power have influence over, the inner workings of our countries and stuff, right? And then that got brought over to America, right? Where I think that in modern America would be, like, the chief issue that Protestants have with Catholics. It's like, well, we don't want the Pope involved in our country or some shit. The Pope is, like, a bad influence or some shit. Meanwhile... In reality, the Pope's got next to nothing to do with anything, right? I mean, I don't know, like, again, I went to Catholic school, and everybody kind of was like, yeah, well, the Pope is important, like, he's the head honcho and all that, but we don't... It's not involved in American politics at all. When Kennedy got elected, there was a lot of people worried that because he was Irish Catholic, that the Pope was going to somehow be influencing our country because the president's Catholic. There were people saying that. There were people worried about that shit. Yeah. It's real. And, I think a lot of it was tied up in, like, anti-immigrant xenophobia stuff, too. Right, because you had a lot of immigrants coming into America from Italy and Ireland at that time, right? Well, this is like pre-Kennedy, way pre-Kennedy. So that was another thing for people to be like, well, the Pope will have something to do with politics. The Pope is going to be involved in America, and the Pope is bad, and it's some kind of foreign influence to have all these Catholics in the country, right? So it's all tied up in that bullshit. And that's where this is coming from. So this was a very half-assed and probably mostly incorrect history lesson from Jabroni Mike here tonight. You're welcome. Where was I in this? Shits.
We're gonna be all tangled up in Pope.
Yeah, they didn't want to be tangled up in Popery. Geist T says it was good enough, I think. Was it good enough? Should I consider a career in education, maybe? Where the fuck? Was I? Pieces of bacon flying... Here we go. Harry was tentative, since he was new to this whole Christianity thing, but he did not think God would hate him for not worshipping his mommy. On the contrary, he had a hunch that God wanted people to only worship him. Who's this?
Don't listen to him,
commented a drowsy voice self-righteously from behind Harry. Harry turned around, and he saw a girl about his own age. Her pale yellow hair was tied into braids, and she wore a tie-dye shirt and faded jeans and flowers in her hair. Peace signs and donkey patches were sewn all over her clothes. Oh, this is what we were talking about before.
You should not have become a Slytherin hat.
The girl continued confidently, and she was eating what looked like it was supposed to be bacon, but it did not smell or taste like bacon. What the fuck? It's beyond meat. It's fucking... Oh, it's vegan bacon. It missed that smoky, meaty taste that bacon is supposed to have. Instead, it tasted like vegetables blended together and dyed red. Yuck. Harry would take real bacon over that any day of the week.
They are far too strict.
Harry skeptically. He was not sure about this whole Slytherin business, but the word strict was not what came to mind.
You should become a Hufflepuff hat.
The girl instructed arrogantly and continued to nibble at her breakfast.
That's what I'm going to do.
What do Hufflepuff hats believe in?
Harry pondered aloud, and he took a bite of his real bacon. Oh, how he wanted to find the true hat. The true hat.
Hufflepuff hats believe in the Bible, but only some of it.
Luna explained casually, and she was still feeding on that stuff. Is Luna a character in Harry Potter? I don't remember ever hearing about this character.
We don't believe in the stuff against fornication and drinking and socialism. Socialism! But we really like Matthew 7:1, and that's about it. We're really fun, and we seem really nice and really tolerant as long as you agree with us.
What fucking... What Christians are these? What Christians are these? What is this? What religion is this? This doesn't exist. Unitarians? Episcopalians? What is this? Unitarian. So what are Unitarians are like the cool ones? So I don't know anything about them. Are they the ones who follow like Jesus was obviously a hippie? Like they're Christian, but Jesus was obviously a hippie and would have been socialist? He would have been. Argue with me that Jesus would have been socialist. I'm gonna put a sign in front of a folding table and drink out of a coffee mug. Jesus would have been socialist. Prove me wrong. You cannot fucking prove me wrong. In every fucking version of the Bible, that's absolutely he would have been. He 100% would have been. And what's fucking nuts about that is most of like the communist like dictatorships like fucking outlawed religion. It's like outlawed fucking, the Bible and shit. Meanwhile, it's like it would have been like the perfect propaganda for them. Wrong? Butterboy took a theology course in undergrad. He totally was. He was! Fuck, I lost my spot again. It's like a theology kind of edutainment stream. The Unitarian Church in my city is cool and don't care what religion you personally practice. It's a community of church without the strict religious rules. You know what that is? That's exactly what I was talking about. That's just like, we think Jesus was pretty cool, man. Dude, Jesus would have been our homie, man. Homie. He would have been our homie. That was when a derisive laugh is where I left off. He would have been our homie. I was trying to think of like a hippie word, and like that's not a hippie word. I can't find my spot. This is why I can't get sidetracked. Highlight the last word you read, carrying out. I've been trying to do that, but when I click and drag on this website, it doesn't let you highlight. You can't highlight. That was when a derisive laugh echoed through the cafeteria. A smug-looking man about Harry's age, with slicked back hair, even paler blonde than Luna's, and wearing a sweater vest and khakis, strolled languidly down between the rows of tables.
Please ignore this fool.
Draco drawled smugly.
Luna here thinks she can have a career even though she's a woman, and women are stupid.
Harry gaped at this horrible person. What a mean thing to say.
Women shouldn't not have careers because women are stupid.
Harry shouted indignantly.
Women are not stupid at all. Women should not have careers because women are nurturing and loving and their gifts serve them best in the home.
Draco gasped tentatively.
You are diluting the truth. Women are beneath men. No, I'm not, Harry
Fired back bravely.
You are twisting the truth so you can be mean with it. Women are not beneath men. Men and women are just different.
Luna smiled at him gratefully. Draco was clearly fumbling for ground here. There is not much ground to stand on when you are being hateful. But he finally came up with,
well, at least I don't eat with Slytherin hats. I hate Slytherins.
Ronald began to cry into his oatmeal. Oh, she nailed the character.
I don't hate Slytherin hats.
Harry declared boldly.
I think they should become Gryffindor hats, but that is because I love them. Besides, the Lord ate with sinners all the time.
Thank you, Harry, Ronald whispered tearfully.
Well, you should just become a Ravenclaw hat like me.
Draco sputtered blusteringly.
We really are the best hat. I think you mean we really are the most hateful hat.
Harry corrected cleverly. And then he jumped up onto the table, and he got down on his knees, and he raised his hands to the ceiling of the Great Hall, and he bellowed,
Dear Lord, I have made my decision. I am a Gryffindor hat.
Judge not, that ye not be judged. I feel like this one gets forgotten about a lot. Why is everyone house swapped artificially natural? Because this bitch didn't read the books at all. So what the fuck is, he's a Mormon, Chad is saying? So Draco's a Mormon, you guys are trying to say? Ye judge not, that ye not be judged, ye not be judged. A Jehovah's Witness or a Mormon or something. Okay. Ye not be judged. Chapter 7. Wheat and Chaff. Author's note. Hello, friends. Phew, this chapter took longer to write than I thought it would. There's so much to be done here at Fort Parsons. Some days I don't think I'll ever get caught up. But now that the little ones are sound asleep, I'm finally getting around to putting the finishing touches on this little chapter. I apologize for the delay. Now, there have been quite a few questions and comments coming in, and I thought I should take time to address a few, since I don't have time to reply individually. First of all, to all the mommies who have expressed their appreciation of this little story of mine, thank you. Your support keeps me writing. Remember, though, the glory is not mine. It is the work of a greater cause. And the people who call me names. A Bible-believing Christian is like a big ugly monster who lives under a bridge. And wanting everyone to do the right thing and go to heaven makes one a so-called bigot, Well, that's this modern world for you. And finally, to the people who say that I am spreading hate, take a look at some of the comments posted here, saying that I am a terrible writer and a terrible mother whose children will hate her one day. Who is it who is spreading hate here? Because I don't think it's me. Based. Based. Guys, you can't call everything based. The Great Hall burst into applause as a red and yellow baseball cap with a lion embroidered on the front appeared on Harry's head. He hopped deftly off the table and landed on his little feet. He could feel the love of the Lord surging through him, and he knew he had made the right decision. He was even more sure of his decision when Hermione dashed across the cafeteria to give him a big spontaneous hug. She too was sporting a red and yellow baseball cap, although her cap had a kitten on it instead of a lion.
I'm so happy, Harry!
She cried gladly, delicate tears streaming down her face.
When I saw you eating with that family, I was so scared. I thought you might become a Slytherin.
Never worry about that.
Harry declared boldly and bravely.
I am a Gryffindor now and forever.
Well chosen.
Dumbledore declared approvingly as he took long, energetic strides to cross the crowded, noisy room.
Welcome to the Gryffindor hat, son.
Harry beamed happily. Truly, he had been blessed. As he sat down to finish his breakfast, and he was still glowing from joy, he sat back next to Ronald. Will you still be my friend, even though you are a different hat? Ronald asked timidly.
Of course.
Harry declared generously, and he began to eat his eggs. He had expected his eggs to be cold by now, what with all the hullabaloo, but lo and behold, they were still piping hot. He would not pretend that what Ronald believed about worshipping the dead, but he could still offer the young boy friendship in the spirit of Matthew 2:16-17. Thank you, Harry, Ronald uttered happily. He may have been sporting a green and black hat with a snake on it, which testified to his Slytherin beliefs, but he could recognize Harry's pure-hearted godliness, generosity, humility, and innocent goodness. He looked around at his siblings, all of them wearing hats identical to his, and he wondered why none of them were like that. Inherently inferior. By the end of this story, Ronald is going to be converted to Gryffindor.
Attention, students.
Reverend Dumbledore announced authoritatively as he hopped onto the stage, and he held the microphone by his mouth.
Congratulations on picking your hats,
he continued kindly.
I'm sure you have all chosen wisely.
Harry hummed to himself. He knew that the Reverend meant well, but was it really doing the members of the other hats much good to tell them that everything was the same when it wasn't? Wouldn't they all be happier if they knew to read the Bible and take it seriously? Dumbledore thought he was making everyone happy, and perhaps he was in the short run, but in the long run, Harry worried that he was doing more harm than good. Harry did not say anything, because he was new to the flock and didn't feel confident in his connection with the Lord. But sometimes it takes newcomers to point out the flaws we don't see in our own communities. What the fuck? This is a playlist, Pistachiola, of songs that have been proven to not cause me DMCA problems on Twitch or on YouTube, which is why I have chosen them. That's right, Trumpet Dude. It's crusade time! The Reverend clapped his hands against each other once, and then he spoke enthusiastically. Now,
you will be sharing most of your classes with the other members of your hat, so it would be good for you to get to know them now. Ravenclaw hats, please gather around Mr. Moody. Hufflepuff hats, gather around Mr. Sprout. Slytherin hats, gather around Mr. Finnegan. And Gryffindor hats, please gather around Mr. Snape.
So they house swapped the fucking teachers too? Now, at the beginning of the breakfast meal, Harry had noticed a tall, mysterious-looking man with long dark hair and gaunt, enigmatic features. He was dressed stylishly in a crisp black suit, and his tie made a shock of red in the otherwise totally black outfit. The dark hair on his pale chest was neatly trimmed, but still noticeably thick, and he wore elegant black leather shoes on both of his feet. Like, what, was he just gonna wear it on one? It was now that he noticed that, on the table that this man was sitting at, was a placard that said on it, Mr. Snape. Harry followed the other brave young children wearing Gryffindor hats. Let me get ready to do the voice.
Ron Weasley. Wingardium Leviosa. There it is, I got it. Chapter 8. Refreshing Honesty.
Author's note. Hello, friends. Things have finally calmed down here a bit at Fort Parsons. She's saying that every time. And I am so excited to share with you all another new chapter. One thing I would like to talk about, though, many people have been calling me a misogynist. That means woman hater. Friends, I do not hate women. I am a woman now. What is it I have done to have people calling me this? Well, apparently, it is saying that women are loving and nurturing and good. Right. How hateful. I'm just a big old mean bigot, huh? Wait, wrong. That is not a bigoted thing to say at all. Now, it is certainly true that what is written in the Bible about women... You know what that's like? That's when Borat learned sarcasm. I'm just a mean old bigot, huh? Not. Remember that? And he was just saying not after every fucking sentence. I saw the new movie, by the way. It was, extremely interesting. Extremely interesting. Guys. That movie made me laugh incredibly fucking hard. Incredibly that movie had me in fucking tears. I have to recommend it. I don't want to talk about it, but for obvious reasons, but please watch that movie. Yes, I laughed. Everything to do with his daughter is fucking top tier. Guys, that book from the Department of Agriculture, the Kazakhstan Department of Agriculture, that she carries around the entire movie. That book. I don't want to spoil it. Just watch it. The daughter was an S tier actor. Is there a tier above S? Because she was that fucking good. She thought that the fake tits were going to save her from drowning. I mean, I know she didn't because it's parody, but that entire scene was... That's the scene where I was like, okay, this movie is fucking incredible. Like, up until then, I was like, okay, this is alright. But once it got to that scene, I was like, oh, okay, this is amazing. Now, does she have a point about this? No, this is not a bigoted thing to say. Actually, you know what? It's a bigoted thing to say in the sense that men can't be loving and nurturing and good. Men can't be loving and nurturing and good. Men can't do that. I'm a fucking man, and I think I'm extremely loving and nurturing and fucking good. Cunt. Okay? Yeah. How about that? Now, it is certainly true that what is written in the Bible about women was used as an excuse to actually be hateful to women. Wait, what? It is certainly true that what is written in the Bible about women was used as an excuse to be hateful to women. Okay. Fair. And that is terrible. And there are some people out there who think all women are stupid or less than men. Friends, this is not what I believe at all. I believe that women have special gifts that are no less than men. In fact, I think that if womanly virtues were respected more, the world would be a much better place to live. And any of those so-called Christians who hate women and think women are stupid and worth less than men and that God doesn't respect us, well, they will get a very serious talking to from a certain housewife. Now, does that sound misogynistic to you? You just said that women shouldn't have jobs. So this is a very, I think that the author of this is calling out how these types of people will dance around those kinds of accusations. And I mean, there's no, like, where's the lie? Where's the joke even? Because this is exactly the response that you're going to get if you say, well, wait, you're trying to say that, like, a woman's place is in the kitchen and a woman doesn't belong in a workplace or something? Which is what this person obviously believes to some extent. This is the kind of response that you're going to receive, I think. In the first chapter, or the first couple of chapters, I think it was intimated, though it may not have been said directly v. Genesis. Okay. I mean, we could debate about that. Did she really say that or not? You know? Did she really intimate that, or didn't she? Up to you. Harry Potter walked nervously over to the table of Mr. Snape. The other little ones wearing red and yellow hats did the same. Mr. Snape silently stood up, and he motioned with his head for the boys and girls to follow him, and he sauntered out of the great hall. He led them into a small classroom with a few desks in it. He silently motioned for the little ones to sit down at the desks. They did. He stood up at the blackboard in front of them.
Welcome to Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles,
greeted the older but still handsome in a dignified, rugged way amicably. Guys, is she horny for him, Bike? The issue is she's assigning roles and emotions to men and women based on gender. So there's something here, yeah.
Ron Weasley.
Hold on, I want to look at this again. He was dressed stylishly in a crisp black suit. The dark hair on his pale chest was neatly trimmed but still noticeably thick. Yeah, she's horny for him. Why are we seeing his chest hair? You know, like when I'm concentrated on the voices and shit, and thinking about, like, my takes of what I'm reading, sometimes I miss, like, little details like that. This was the same with Hagrid, too. Yeah. He wore elegant black leather shoes on both of his feet. Yeah, she's definitely horny for him. The little ones all sat in respectful attention.
So, you have all chosen the Gryffindor hat?
Mr. Snape queried as he raised his eyebrow.
Yes, Mr. Snape,
chorused all the students together. Am I familiar with the phenomenon of the Snape wives? I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to hear anymore. Alan Rickman was kind of a snack back in the Die Hard days. Really? Kinda Rick, kinda snack? Alan Snackman.
Well,
Mr. Snape said, as he drew his tall, strapping form up to its full impressive height.
I would like to say that your choosing will make you happy, or your lives will be easy, but I will not lie. There are dark forces in the world, and they do not like Christians. And when I say Christians, I mean Gryffindor hats. They love the Hufflepuff hats because the Hufflepuff hats believe everything these people say and slap the label Christian onto that philosophy. And so the Hufflepuff hats make it easier. The Ravenclaw hats these people claim not to like, but then they pretend that the Ravenclaw hat's extremism applies to all Christians. So the Ravenclaw hats help them.
The what? Like, I have to read it again because I was too focused on the voice. So Snape considers the Gryffindor hats to be the only true Christians, right? And then, yeah, okay, I see what's going on here. Alright. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, good, great. Harry frowned confusedly. After the Reverend's acceptance of all the hats, he wondered why Mr. Snape was addressing things so directly. He found Mr. Snape's honesty refreshing, but he also wondered, was the honesty also combined with the hate for others that he had seen in Draco's hat? He thought the other hats were wrong, but he did not want Mr. Snape to hate them for being wrong. He wanted to help them.
And then, of course, is the Slytherin hats. The Slytherin hats will tell you we are all on the same side because they agree with the Gryffindor hats on some things. But do not be fooled, their leader is working with Voldemort.
A shocked, horrified gasp echoed throughout the classroom. Harry slapped his hands over his mouth in an attempt to contain his horror, but he was still shocked. His new friend not only worshipped the goddess, but he was also now in cahoots with Voldemort. The little ones all gasped again. This time, they were even more frightened. From the back of the room, a clean-cut, respectably dressed young boy raised his hand.
But what about the Constitution?
Dean Thomas questioned articulately.
Doesn't he care about the First Amendment?
So I think what they're saying is that Voldemort is anybody who wants, like, you know, a separation of church and state. Basically. So I don't know, Democrats? I don't know, I fucking know. Not even. Like, I know there's even right-wing people who don't, you know, who don't feel that way. That's true. That is true. Voldemort is the Pope? How is Voldemort the Pope? Oh, because Slytherin is the Catholic. So I need to get that out of my head. It's not about... But that's not... That has nothing to do with the fucking Pope. None of this is making any sense. Voldemort is the Pope. God, that's stupid. No, the new Pope is working with Voldemort. Because if people want to look like point to Christianity and be like, look, it's not an egalitarian religion or some shit, right? And it shouldn't be involved in the government or whatever, because that's where they're going with this right now. That is where they're going with this. Or it seemed to be like that's where they were going with this. Then Snape right now is making it seem like the Slytherins and the Hufflepuffs are just like the useful idiots for people who want to, I don't know, take religion out of government or something like that. I'm having a very hard time following the logic of this. It's not making any fucking sense to me. Woofy woofy. Welcome back to the family, son. Thank you so much for 2 months of support. I appreciate that. Mr. Snape shook his head sadly.
I'm afraid not, and Voldemort is working through him and using them all. Before long, all our freedoms will be gone.
Dean Thomas raised his hand again and queried coherently.
But why does Voldemort hate Christians so much?
No one knows.
Mr. Snape responded tentatively.
However, he is on the move, and he is gaining power, and we Gryffindors may be the only ones capable of stopping him.
Harry was nervous, but he clenched his fist determinedly. He was scared, but he was ready to face this evil. Blessings. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of logic. I mean, this is obviously a shitpost. The person probably didn't put too much thought into it. I mean, they put a lot of work into it, though. Fuck. Whatever, let's not worry about it. I'm sure it'll all make sense eventually. Hello, friends. I apologize for how long it took to get this chapter out, but I have good news. Starting tonight, I will be taking a beginning writer's course at the local community college. Through all the hate from evolutionists, feminists, and Romanists. That's a word? I've heard papists, but Romanists? There has been some legitimate criticism of my writing skills. My mother did her best, and she certainly did teach me a lot, but grammar was not her area of expertise. It's taken some convincing. The hubby wasn't sure I'd have time to get everything done if I start taking this class. But I've written up a schedule, and I think we can make it work. 1 week into the school year... Oh, that's... Okay, my bad. That's the story. Guys, the chapters are short. I think we will be able to finish this tonight. This is not a 2-stream thing. I'm gonna go for it. They're short chapters. 1 week into the school year, Harry was gradually starting to get used to the everyday routines at Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles. There was breakfast in the Great Hall every morning, and then there was a prayer session led by the Reverend. The Slytherins went off to have their own prayer sessions in their own way, and the Hufflepuffs and Ravenclaws prayed with the Gryffindors, but the Hufflepuffs complained about the Reverend quoting the Bible, and the Ravenclaws complained that the Reverend didn't seem to really hate sinners, he just hated sin. After the prayer session, the little ones all went to their classes. There were regular math and English classes, of course, although they were of a higher caliber than one would find in a public school, and then there were Bible studies and Christian history. Right, because Catholic school, charter private schools offer a superior education, right? I went to Catholic school, and I'm here to tell you that that can't be true. Do you remember when you brought up JFK? Is that going to become relevant? Buntime wants to know if Hufflepuffs are cool in the real series because they love the name Hufflepuff. I always got the impression that Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw were not relevant to the Harry Potter story whatsoever, and like really honestly didn't matter whatsoever. They think the JFK corrupted by the Pope thing is Voldemort. Okay. After that was lunch in the Great Hall. After lunch were more classes about American history and constitutional law, and missionary training. After these classes was dinner in the Great Hall, after which the students had free time. Missionary training is not sex ed, chat. It was just such a dinner that Harry was eating now. He was sitting with his new friends, Hermione, Ronald, and Dean Thomas.
This food certainly is delicious,
Harry observed gratefully, and he was savoring a bite of perfectly roasted chicken.
It really is.
Dean Thomas concurred intelligently. He was dressed quite respectably today, and he was wearing a button-up shirt and clean blue jeans, and his hair was neatly combed. Hermione nodded in agreement, and the yellow bow she had tied her hair back with bounced up and down. There is one big thing involving Ravenclaw, only Ravenclaw is the throwaway house. Hufflepuff isn't throwaway. Ronald grinned widely, but remained silent as he shoved another handful of deep-fried Brussels sprouts into his little mouth. Ronald ate breakfast and lunch with his family, but he was eating more and more dinners with these Gryffindor friends of his. It never ceased to amaze him just how nice they were to him, even though he wore a different hat. A little unconditional friendship can really go a long way in a person's heart. It was then that a bunch of beautiful people with wings, wearing glowing white robes, swooped in through the Great Hall's huge windows. Yellow halos hovered over their heads, and they wore brown leather satchels around their shoulders. They gracefully reached into their satchels and gloriously flung envelopes down to the students below.
The mail's here.
Dean Thomas observed accurately, and he shielded his eyes with his hand as he gazed up in wonder. Harry propped his chin up on his hand and dreamily watched these magnificent postmen distribute their wares. He did so love to look at angels. Yeah, they're just angels, don't worry about it. He was surprised when a letter fluttered down to him, and it landed lightly on the table in front of him. He had never gotten a letter before. He smiled innocently at the angel who had delivered it, and the angel waved back.
Would you look at that?
Dean Thomas uttered fluently.
You got a letter, Harry.
With excited hands, Larry broke the seal and took out the parchment that was inside the envelope. It seemed he had been invited to something called Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. He laid it out on the table and saw the familiar slanting, tidy handwriting.
Dear Harry, how are you enjoying your first week at Hogwarts? Hope you are enjoying it a lot. How about you come over for tea this evening after dinner, and you can tell me all about it? Hagrid.
Harry smiled as he folded the letter and put it back in the envelope. Good old Hagrid.
What does it say, Harry?
Hermione questioned shyly, and she played with one of her smooth, lovely curls.
Hagrid wants me to come over for tea.
Harry reported excitedly.
Would you all like to join me?
I'd love to.
Hermione replied sweetly.
That sounds like fun.
Dean Thomas responded eloquently. Stop this shit! Just say said! How hard is it really? I'm getting very tired of that. Fuck! Which was probably the desired response. This is a shit post, no doubt about it. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Could I come? Ronald asked tentatively after he had swallowed his Brussels sprouts. Harry, Hermione, and Dean Thomas exchanged a knowing look, and then Harry answered kindly,
Of course you can.
Ronald smiled gratefully before going back to his Brussels sprouts. When dinner finished, Harry got to his feet, and then he declared boldly, Let's go. Blessings. Remember when Animal Crossing had good music? I do. There are like 2 or 3 songs from the new Animal Crossing I actually like. Chapter 10, Dangerous Days Are Here. 5 p.m. has entered the chat. Hello, friends. That's one of them. Sorry this chapter took so long to post, but the instructor of my new writing class was kind enough to proofread it. I didn't take all of his suggestions, but I liked most of them, and I hope the wait was worth it. Oh, another thing. A few good-intentioned but misguided readers have expressed concern about my asking my husband's permission to take a class. Friends, it is not long ago that I would have thought the same thing. Culture told me that wifely submission was the meaning, and I believed it. And all I will say is this. Read Created to Be His Helpmeet by Debbie Pearl. Life and Marriage Changer. Well, that sounds like a fucking jizz rag of a book. Helpmeet. Created to be his helpmeet. Yeah, that sounds just god-awful. It's real? Short segue. Created to be his helpmeet. Yeah, it exists. It's on Amazon. Created to be his helpmeet. Discover how God can make your marriage glorious. Yeah, this is exactly what you think it is. This is like brainwashing fucking propaganda bullshit. Oh, God. You can get it on Kindle for $9. Days Dawning says her husband has a book that's a tutorial on child beating. Is she married to Bean Dad? Yeah, it's a bunch of cringy, psychotic bullshit. Religious fucking, propaganda fucking... Yeah, I don't like... Yeah. I have a question, though. What's a helpmeet? The book is 2 steps away from YouTube supremacist propaganda. What does helpmeet mean? It's like a meet cute? What is helpmeet? Yeah, this is fucking psychotic. Yeah, whatever this is psychotic. Let me read you one quote from the description of the book. From the author. Many times as I read a passage... You know what? Wait. My dear husband would say to me, if God thought it was important enough to inspire it as part of his word to us, then you should include it. And so I would cringe and add one more controversial passage after another. So she's talking about adding things from the Bible into this book that she's writing. But it was making her cringe. And it's just very ironic that she used the word cringe here. Look at the reviews. It's got 80% 5-star reviews, guys. Top reviews from the United States. Dangerous teaching full of misused scripture, 1 star. This book is simply horrifying. The abuse of scripture to justify all sorts of horrible things, okay? Sexism, misogyny. 1 star review. It can't be helpful if no one wants to read it. 1 star review, would not recommend. 5-star review. Brace yourself. This is a tough book. So it's almost like this person read the book and knew it was fucking filled with problems and then came back here and gave it a 5-star review regardless. 0 stars. 1 star. I'd give this 0 stars if I could. Oh, yeah. And then there's a lot of 5-star ones where people have fucking drank the Kool-Aid. I still want to know what a helpmeet is. What is a helpmeet? Like, it's like half a sentence? Helpmeet would seem to indicate a person of lesser stature, a subject, a subordinate. Wow, well, it's in the title how fucked up this is. Wow, man. I don't... Jesus. Yeah, I'm seeing things here that are legitimately fucking terrifying in these comments. Like, this book is advocating some real scary shit. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I want to keep the mood up. But yeah, that book is fucking terrifying. Yeah, that's bad news. Whoever this author's husband is, he's definitely into cucking porn. Yeah, I want to keep the mood up here. So let's continue reading this. You know, to keep the mood up. Hagrid lived in lovely little house on the edge of the Hogwarts campus. Didn't this get proofread by a creative writing teacher? Hagrid lived in lovely little house on the edge of the Hogwarts campus. The little ones arrived right on time, and the delicious smell of tea and cookies was wafting outside. Smiling in anticipation, they knocked on the door. Yeah, she lied. This is not real. Don't worry about it. Hagrid opened the door and beamed down at them.
Welcome, Harry. I'm so glad you could come. And you brought friends.
Indeed I did.
Harry said, and gestured to the upstanding young fellow to his left.
This is Dean Thomas, a Gryffindor hat.
Man, I could not fucking care less about Dean Thomas.
Pleased to meet
you,
Dean Thomas said intelligently.
Pleased to meet you.
That's how I'm gonna voice him now. She did use the word said, but then she invalidated it by putting the unnecessary adverb intelligently. Hagrid smiled at the little one, impressed.
This is Hermione, another Gryffindor hat.
Harry said, motioning toward the girl to his right. Mike, he's the only black character. Oh, so Dean Thomas was J.K. Rowling's token black character. Guys, I seen the movies. I don't remember this character. To be fair, I don't remember 90% of the fucking movies. It's not like they made a big impression on me or whatever. I remember thinking they're alright. I don't hate the Harry Potter movies, but I remember thinking, how did this have such a cultural impact? I just don't. I'm still mystified by it. I don't think it's that cool. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the Harry Potter people in the chat. Hermione smiled shyly and waved. Charmed, Hagrid waved back. A chat member also pointed out that the only Irish character was always blowing things up. Finnegan? Is it Finnegan? What, does he have, spells that cause explosions and shit? Is that serious? Are you're fucking being dead serious right now? In the 90s, the books were published in the 90s, and she wrote in an Irish character who uses magic to blow things up. Guys, I feel like the revelations about J.K. Rowling being an absolute fucking shithead are kind of recent, but they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. His name is Seamus Finnegan, and he blows shit up. You're fucking kidding me, right? I know she's British. I know that. It's almost as if she's always sucked. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. She's such a fucking dumb cunt. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry, but she is. Oh, hard C. Yeah, hard C. Alright, anyway. Wow. Seamus Finnegan. I did not know this.
And this is Ronald,
Harry said. Ronald looked up sheepishly from where he stood behind the trio. He could sense that Hagrid was truly a man of the Lord, in a way that no one in his family, or perhaps the entire Slytherin hat was. To be in the presence of such piety was humbling for a little one, such as this. Hagrid noticed the green and black hat, but didn't comment. Instead, with true mercy and compassion, he opened the door wide to all of them.
Glad to meet all of you. Please come in.
The four little ones filed in. The inside of Hagrid's house was tastefully decorated. The curtains were plaid, the walls were wood, and a bare rug covered the floor in front of the fireplace. Mounted above the mantelpiece, in a place of pride for all to see, was a moose's head. The oaken table in the center of the kitchen was set for 5, and the kettle on the stove was just starting to sing.
This is a really nice place you have.
Harry commented.
It really is.
Dean Thomas said intelligently. Hagrid grinned with pride.
Thank you. I live my John 519, of course, but I do try to keep it tidy.
I have to know what John 5:19 means before I continue reading this. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Guys, 9 times out of 10, I read a fucking Bible verse. Let me just do something real quick. Nine times out of 10, I read a Bible verse and I get absolutely nothing out of it. I get absolutely fucking nothing out of it. This is one of them. What the fuck does this mean? And this again happens the vast majority of the fucking time. Small brain? Really? Interesting theory, small brain. I fucking dare you to try to get something that means literally anything out of this. That's probably intentional, Peter. Hi, Peter. Thanks for coming tonight. It had context while it was in the Bible, but not now. Bad translation. Then do it better? You know, I will say this, though. The yees and the yays and the Kanyes and the yeets do not fucking help at all. Phoenix, are you happy I'm reading the Bible now, bud? It's one of those things where you have to read 50 times to understand when they could just write it out like how real people talk. What's wrong with a modern translation of the Bible? We're not walking around speaking Old English. Like, what? This is not useful. Basically, don't be a hater or God will call you out. But how do you get that out of that? Yeah, Phoenix, you did this, buddy. Phoenix, this stream is your fault. So anybody who's not enjoying this right now, blame Phoenix. Also blame Buntime. Because this was Buntime's idea. Where the fuck was I? Okay, the Bible verse. Okay. Harry, Dean Thomas, and Hermione nodded knowingly. Yeah, they could just have it be like Jesus said to his homies, quit playa-hating. I bet you more people would appreciate that than whatever that mess was that I just read. Come on. Quit playa-hating. Way more accessible. Way more accessible. Really? So do we tell you about how there is in fact a rewritten Bible for millennials? Do I need to Google that? Bible for millennials. Guys, is this gonna be the cringe where my fucking asshole gets sucked up into my body and I fucking disappear in a singularity? 'Cause that's what this is gonna be, isn't it? An Instagram-worthy Bible aimed at millennials. It's real. The fucking article I'm looking at is behind a paywall and I can't read it. Millennials create a Bible for the Instagram generation. Wow. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it's not that bad. I kind of felt like it was going to be filled with references to, I don't know, Fortnite and shit. But it doesn't look like it's that bad. It looks like it's kind of... Here, let's take a look at one page. Isn't that Gen Z? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. I'm a millennial, so I can't, like, critique myself. References to avocado toast. There you go. God he sent down avocado toast from heaven for the Jews wandering the desert. This is what it looks like. That's kind of classy. Can I read it, though? It just looks like it's plain English. This is kind of what I meant, actually. I was afraid it was going to be, like, yeah, social media references and pop culture references and just pain. It's just aesthetic intellect, yeah. That's okay. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, I was hoping it would be cringier, Virtual Light. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it's not as cringe. I'll get back to the fanfic so we can resume the cringe. Read the Minecraft one. You know what? Not right now. Stop distracting me. I want to read this thing. What do you mean the Minecraft Bible? The unofficial Holy Bible for Minecraft. Oh, here's the cringe. Now boys and girls can learn stories from the Bible with amazing full-color images from their favorite game, Minecraft. Yeah, we found it. We found the cringe. Yeah, it's here. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it's real. Sorry, guys. It's real. It exists. I'm so sorry. A children's guide to the Old and New Testament. Yeah, look, they recreated all these scenes from the from the Bible in Minecraft. Oh, fuck. Wow. There's Adam and Eve. Okay. Oh, wow. They probably use the same people, like, who make Minecraft porn to make the skins for all the characters and shit. Yeah. Look, there's the Pharaoh and Moses, and I guess that's, the three wise men or some shit. And thus, on the third day, he mined and crafted. And furiously masturbated. Killer Pocket says, I don't think it's cringe. It's... How can you say that? Alright. Can I show you an image that's going to change your mind, guaranteed? Say it's not cringe now. I'll wait. They nailed him to the cross with the golden pickaxe. Diamond pickaxe. There he is, Jesus, the OG acupuncturist. Virtual Light says, that's the cringe I was waiting for. I got you covered, fam. I got you, buddy. I got you. Man, I don't know. Is this a good idea? Like, if you want to get kids to learn the Bible, I don't think it's a bad thing for kids to learn the Bible. I don't. I honestly don't. I read the fucking thing, you know. I think I'm a better person for having read the Bible. I'm maybe a little more educated at the very least, knowing what's going on in there to the extent that I remember it. I don't know. It's not a terrible thing to read the Bible. I don't listen. I don't fucking think any religion is bad. I don't. I don't think religion is an inherently bad thing. I really don't. It's like everything else in life. It's when it's taken to extremes. Extremes are what's bad. Right? Take it to extremes and I mean, you could appreciate these things, but then have a fucking firm standing in reality and recognize when somebody is trying to take advantage of you and things like that. I think, I don't know. There's a place for this stuff in the world. I think I know it could get really dangerous, but that's, again, I think you got to do these things in moderation, man. I'm not religious. I appreciate Jesus. I do. Honestly. I honestly do. I think Jesus was rad. I think he was a good dude. I think we could take, some good examples from Jesus. Man. Although maybe I'm more of the hippie type of Christian, if to whatever extent I'm a Christian. Please look at the block on the left and the right side of the image. Are you talking about the blocks that are part of the crucifixes? They're inconsistent. Redditors in chat. Apparently something that I'm saying is making people say Reddit, bring up Reddit. I don't use Reddit, so I don't know. If I'm saying something that you saw on Reddit, I arrived at the conclusion independently of Reddit. Mike is just a hippie in general. I have my hippie fucking tendencies, yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Not too much. Like, I do think that religion can be very dangerous, but I think that on the other side of it, there's just moderation would help. Just a little bit, like doing things in moderate. It's like drinking or political ideology or any kind of ideology, maybe in moderation is better than, the extreme. What about Satanism? I don't know anything about Satanism. Alright, so chat's trying really hard to let me know, Mike, we lost 400 viewers. So, alright. You're making it sound like I did something to cause that. So what did I do to cause that? Like, what was the problematic thing that I said that made people leave? It was an auto host. Oh, so somebody who was probably Vinny was auto hosting me and went live. Mike had an opinion. Because you're making it seem like I did something to make people leave. Guys, I want to point out, by the way, it's pretty bad form to fucking like tell a streamer when their view count is plummeting, because now it's like it makes them self-conscious. Like, don't do that. Like, don't fucking be like, Mike, you're losing viewers. Like, don't mods, please time people out, honestly, who fucking do that. Like, you want to fuck with like a streamer's head, just fucking give constant fucking like call outs of what their view count is. Don't do that shit. I don't have my view count up. I try to not look at it, especially when I'm live, because I don't. My philosophy is that I should be streaming the same way if it's one person or if it's a million people. It should be the same stream. So I don't want to know about my view count is the point that I'm trying to make. Don't talk about my view count in the fucking chat. Don't do that. Don't do it. Okay. Hi, Mochaccino. People leave during readings. That's why streamers don't do it. I don't know. I think how many people are here right now? What does it look like right now? 900-ish. That's actually above average for this channel, I think. So I don't know why you're saying that. We have to get back to this or we're never gonna fucking finish it, right? Because I could fucking talk about this shit all night, right? Where was I in this? Does someone remember and can please tell me where the fuck I was in this? Something about the Bible verse. Right, the Bible verse. The Bible verse. Okay. John 15:19. See ye to thee ye yea. Kanye, fingers in his ass. John 5:19. Harry, Dean Thomas, and Hermione nodded knowingly. In a few minutes, they were all seated at the table while Hagrid passed out his famous chocolate chip cookies. They munched on the delicious morsels as Hagrid poured the tea.
How's school going?
Hagrid asked.
Quite well.
Harry replied. Just then, the buzzer timed. The timer buzzed, excuse me.
More cookies.
The little ones cried in delight as Hagrid got up to get them. While Hagrid was getting the cookies, Harry's eyes fell on a newspaper Hagrid had left open. The headline on the front page read, Voldemort spotted at Hogwarts.
Would you look at that?
Dean Thomas murmured observantly, picking up the paper and scanning it. As he read, he whispered the article's terrible words.
Voldemort was spotted by several students yesterday at Hogwarts School of Fire and Miracles. This is the man who's trying to put a bill through Congress to stop Christians from practicing their beliefs. If passed, homeschooling will be illegal. Christians will be put in jail, maybe even killed, unless they say the Bible says what Voldemort wants it to say. Saying Merry Christmas or hanging up the Ten Commandments will put you in a re-education program.
I tried to find a voice that would make everybody happy. For Dean Thomas. Voldemort was spotted by several students. This is the man who is trying to put a bill through Congress to stop Christians from practicing their beliefs. Homeschooling will be illegal. Christians will be put in jail and maybe even killed. Unless they say, the Bible says what Voldemort wants it to say, and saying Merry Christmas or hanging up the Ten Commandments will put you in a re-education program. It's fear porn. Fear porn. Voldemort is a democratic lawmaker. It's what this person thinks that the people that they're parodying thinks what a democratic lawmaker is. I know. There's like fucking 12 layers of irony here, and I'm starting to drown in them, and it's getting really hard to fucking keep up with this. It's like what Fred says during these streams, like I'm starting to dissociate a little bit. When Dean Thomas was finished, Hermione burst into tears. Harry gave her an innocent, friendly pat. An innocent, friendly pat. Very innocent, friendly pat. Totally platonic, above the belt Christian pat.
How could anyone be so angry at God?
Hermione sobbed.
I don't know.
Harry declared tentatively.
He's a horrible person.
Dean Thomas nodded sagely and muttered to himself in disgust.
Well, they brought to change the Pledge of Allegiance. Now they don't want us to be Christians. Next they'll be killing us all. It's a bad time to be a true Christian in America.
Ronald sat in guilty silence as he watched his new friends fearing for the future. He was beginning to wonder just what sort of hat it was that he had chosen. Yeah, I think that some of you might be thinking, like, this is an exaggeration. Certainly nobody, like, there's no evangelicals in this country that really think that this is a possibility. They do. They're out there. They're really afraid of this. They really think this is a thing that could happen. Which I don't know. Like actually can't happen. Like this can't fucking happen. Like there is actual like constitutional protections against this. This cannot happen. This definitively cannot happen. This cannot happen. But, you know, again, it's a parody. They're parodying this. I'm here to tell you that this can't happen. There's a lot of things that shouldn't happen that have happened. You know what? Fair. Hold on a second. Okay, but can we all agree that you're not going to get put in a re-education camp for saying Merry Christmas? Can we at least have that? Can we have like a baseline for reality here? And say that you definitely will never be put in a re-education camp for saying Merry Christmas? Chapter 11. A challenge. Another thing I have gotten many messages about the Slytherins. People are saying that somehow this means I hate Catholics. Friends, I do not hate Catholics at all. All I want is for Catholics and everybody else to go to heaven and be happy with God. Do you want to know who truly hates Catholics? The so-called Catholic Church. Ironic, Oh, yeah. Checkmate. Ironic, isn't it? But think about it. Why else would they lie to Catholics about salvation? And did you know their leader is a socialist? It seems like a certain someone doesn't know much about the Bible or the Constitution. And what about there only being one God and no others? So if any Catholics are reading this, I am asking you this in love. Consider which is more important, your so-called religion or the truth. Wow. Totally blind to their own hypocrisy. I missed the paragraph, I'm sorry. Hello, friends. The writing class is going well, and I stayed after this time to talk to the teacher about my little story, which he has been so kind about helping me with. He has had lots, with an apostrophe, of very helpful suggestions, and I truly think that I have been guided to this class by a purpose greater than my own. Harry, Hermione, Dean Thomas, and Ronald all walked solemnly back to the main campus. They could hardly believe what they had just read. Voldemort, on their campus. What would they do if they ran into him? They quickly went to their dorms and got to sleep. The next morning, the four little ones sat together for breakfast. The spread today was truly delicious. Fluffy scrambled eggs, crispy bacon, home fries, grits, waffles, apples, orange juice, and iced tea. Truly, the blessings today were abundant. She's extremely fixated on bacon, artificially natural. She's obsessed with bacon. And just breakfast in general? This reminds me of George R.R. Martin.
I still can't believe Voldemort has been seen on our own campus.
Harry whispered after swallowing a bite of bacon.
Neither can I,
Dean Thomas commented perceptively.
I'm scared.
Hermione murmured and fidgeted with her fork.
What if he tries to kill Harry?
it will be fine.
Harry declared boldly, and then gave her hand a reassured squeeze, and then they both blushed.
What are the four of you gossiping about?
a voice said. It was smug, and it came from behind them. Harry turned around, and he saw Draco standing behind him. Draco's hands were folded and rested on his stomach. Behind him stood 2 other young men, dressed the same as Draco, tan pants, brown sweater vests, and white button-up shirts.
We were just discussing something we read in the newspaper.
Harry said friendlily.
Would you like to join us?
The way that they ape J.K. Rowling's shitty style is uncanny. Really? Draco chortled pompously.
I think not. You may be comfortable dining with women outside of your family, but I am not. I know that I am better than women. Why would I want to talk to one?
Harry gritted his teeth. He had had enough of this. So-called feminists these days call everything sexist. A man respecting his woman and providing for her and giving her the children and home that she truly desires is called woman-hating. Such silliness can make us forget what real sexism looks like. The truth is, women are just as smart as men, and God has made us as their equals. But equal does not mean the same. And when we treat men and women as being the same and tell women to go to work all day and forget about her true calling as a wife and mother, then that is the real woman-hating. Is the author okay? Like, is she good? And then there are people like Draco, who think that God messed up and made women worse than men, and neither is okay. It's ironic. It's all ironic.
That is a mean thing to say.
Harry screamed bravely, and he banged his fists on the table so hard that the plates bounced. Mr. Snape looked over in their direction, and he saw the commotion that was going on at that moment. He was dressed very dapperly today, in a freshly pressed dress shirt and practical pants that complemented his long, muscular legs perfectly. Atop the button of his shirt, a hint of the thick carpet underneath was visible. He carried with him a big, heavy King James version of the Bible as he sauntered across the cafeteria. She's down bad.
What exactly is going on here?
He questioned, folding his arms over his chest.
Nothing.
Draco muttered in the embarrassed voice of one who knows he has done wrong, but Harry boldly and honestly retorted.
Draco was being a bully to the ladies.
With a gasp, Greg covered his mouth with his delicate, long-fingered hands. Greg? Greg? Chad, who's Greg? Is Greg Snape's first name? Greg Snape? Greg Snape? Good old Greg Snape. What? What is Snape's first name in the Harry Potter books? Greg. Oh, it's Greg. Okay. No, it's Severus. Not Greg. Greg. It reminds me of AI Dungeon when remember when AI Dungeon would just insert a new character randomly, and we would be like, AI Dungeon, who the fuck are you talking about? This woman's mind works like AI Dungeon. Shrimpy, yeah, like who the fuck is Shrimpy? I went to Olive Garden with Barack Obama and Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Who the fuck? I don't even remember who I went to Olive Garden with. All I know is Shrimpy wasn't fucking invite Shadow the Hedgehog. Fuck Riker from Star Trek. And Shrek. Yeah, that's who I went to Olive Garden with. And then AI Dungeon was like, don't worry about any of them. Here's Shrimpy. That's how Shrimpy was born, yeah. The AI Dungeon essentially telling me to go fuck myself. Greg. Greg Snape. Oh, I love Greg Snape. This is her, like, headcanon. Like, Snape is her lover and his name is Greg. Because, you know, like, these people are puritanical and, like, don't have sex. She's like, insanely horny. Like, she's just fucking so thirsty for dick. And her fucking fantasy, her, like, Danielle Steele fantasy, fucking Greg Snape is the one who fucking, like, carries her off to the fucking pool. Or whatever. Grinding as she writes it. Greg is probably her hot neighbor. It's the name of the writing teacher. Oh, that's where she's going with this. Yeah, I get it. Okay, yeah. No, it's not her husband, it's the writing teacher, yeah. That's where she's going with this. Mr. Snape grabbed Draco's wrist and led him out of the cafeteria. Harry smiled holily at the sanctimonious fool. Draco shook his fist.
I'll get you for this, Potter. Tonight, after dinner in the courtyard, we will have a pray-off.
Pray-off! Oh, shit just got real. Shit just got real. Getting getting some boop vibes. Shh. Chapter 12. Chapter 12. Chapter 12 is just called Chapter 12. She should write a webcomic named Mr. Snape. Guys, there's reasons why I thought you would like this. Hello, friends. I had this chapter all ready to go a week ago after class last Saturday. But then, of course, things got in the way like they always seem to. But now that things have slightly settled down here at Fort Parsons, I thought I would finally post this. Star Heaven, welcome back to the family. Thank you for 50 months of support. I gotta tell the guys at church about this. The campus was dark when Harry, Hermione, Dean Thomas, and Ronald walked out of their dormitories. It was completely silent, because all the other little ones were asleep. The bright, shining stars twinkled approvingly at the righteous young Christian trio. Twinkled approvingly. ZK Nels, welcome back to the family. Thank you for 7 months, bud. Whatever he's praying you, I'll double it. You couldn't afford it.
I'm nervous.
Ronald uttered shakily.
Isn't this against the rules?
I don't remember the voice, unfortunately. It was a good one, too. Harry, Dean Thomas, and Hermione exchanged a knowing look. It wasn't Ronald's fault. It was just how he had been raised. Slytherin hats do not usually question authority. They think they just need to do what the head Slytherin hats tell them to do. They never think that maybe the Lord's work is impatient.
This is the Lord's work.
Harry explained patiently.
This is more important.
That's right.
Dean Thomas said wisely, and not a single word was mispronounced. What? He had dressed quite respectably for the occasion. His face was scrubbed quite cleanly. Any mommy would have been proud to have him for her son.
Oh!
Ronald murmured wonderingly. He had never thought that anything could be more important than following rules. Not even the Lord's work. Ronald was starting to ask the big questions. Questions which might just lead him to salvation. Just think, what would have happened if Harry had not known to love the sin and not the sinner? Yeah, it's so cleverly, because again, it is parody, but cleverly, like, subtly fucking, like, derogatory, right? Like, exactly how it would be if somebody unironically tried to do this. Just then, Draco stepped out from behind a tree. He was wearing yet another sweater vest, and he was proudly sporting a Ravenclaw hat.
Well done, Potter.
Draco drawled smugly.
Looks like you came to the pray-off after all.
That's right.
Harry answered courageously.
Well then,
Draco grinned self-righteously.
let's pray.
Harry and Draco got down on their knees and raised their hands to the sky. This is not the first Harry Potter fanfic I read. What was the last one that I read? I think it was the AI tries to write a Harry Potter book. My Immortal was also a Harry Potter fanfic, that's right. Daisy, welcome back to the family. Thank you for 10 months, Daisy.
I'll go first because God loves me the best.
Draco declared confidently. With that, he shouted,
Dear Lord, if you agree with me that women are stupid and Potter is wrong, please strike him down where he kneels.
Dean Thomas and Ronald gasped. Hermione began to cry, but Harry did not flinch. He knew that he was a man of the Lord. Draco grinned viciously as he looked to the sky for a bolt of lightning, but none came. His eyes widened and his jaw dropped. He began to cry. Now, it was Harry's turn to pray. He raised his hands far higher than Draco's had been, and he screamed, in a voice far louder than Draco's had been.
Dear Lord, if you agree with me that women are just as good as men but just different, please.
For a second, he thought about asking for Draco to be struck down, but then he was overcome with mercy.
Please make him a Gryffindor hat.
In that moment, the hat on Draco's head changed into a red and yellow one with a lion on it, and the tears rolling down his face were not sad tears. They were happy tears. The crowd of onlookers burst into applause, but Harry did not notice all the cheering students and teachers. He was bathing in the love of the Lord. Yeah, he prayed harder than Draco, so this happened. Wow. Wow. Just wow. 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 Fucking wow. Luckily, this is gonna end soon. Fully converted and loving it. Godly bimbofication. Chapter 13. A Visitor to Hogwarts. Hello, friends. Many of you have notified me about the typo in the last chapter. Oops. I was feeling so confident in my newfound writing skills last class, and I didn't think I needed to ask the teacher to full proofread. Once again, oops. I guess this just goes to show that Proverbs 16:18 applies to us all. I don't care what it fucking means. And that, friends, is why this chapter is so late going up. I waited to post until Greg had a chance to look it over in detail. He says I am definitely improving, but he did still have some suggestions. Hope you all enjoy. The cheering crowd converged on the two righteous boys. This is a lot of fun if you really imagine that this is real. Like, please try to imagine this is real and just enjoy it in that way, you know? They were led by Dean Thomas, Hermione, and Ronald. Hermione reached Harry first. Joyful tears were streaming down her face, and her lacy pink skirt was swirling around her legs. When she reached Harry, she wrapped her delicate arms around him in a chaste hug.
I was so scared.
She whispered tearfully. Harry pulled away and patted her reassuringly. He told her,
There's nothing to be afraid of, not when we are on the side of righteousness.
Hermione grinned admiringly. She exclaimed,
You're so brave.
Harry smiled humbly and blushed, and rubbed the back of his neck like a shy schoolboy. He didn't know why, but he felt so different around her than other people. Perhaps it was because she was so godly. But Harry felt that it might be more than admiration that he felt. What was the word? He could not quite put his finger on it. Dean Thomas stepped forward and gave him a very polite handshake.
Amazing job out there.
He commented intelligently. Harry smiled humbly.
It was the work of a power greater than my own.
Dean Thomas shook his head in admiration at how humble Harry was being. Truly, a light was shining in this little one. Ronald was next in line. Tears were streaming down his face and his nose was running down to his chin. He wiped his face with a big freckled hand. He stuck out the other one for Harry to shake. Harry generously returned the action.
That was amazing!
Ronald sobbed honestly.
How do I be as holy as you?
Harry, Dean Thomas, and Hermione exchanged a knowing look.
Maybe
They suggested.
it has something to do with the hat on your head.
Ronald got a thoughtful look on his face. His many siblings that were too many for two parents to care for did not like the look of that. Altogether. Oh, God. Fuck, where is it? Where did it go? Where was I? Right here. Altogether, they walked over and grabbed Ronald and pulled him away. Harry, Dean Thomas, and Hermione were sad, but they hoped in their hearts that their words of truth would plant seed and grow. But before they could think too much about that, a car pulled into the parking lot. It did not look like the car a busy mommy or daddy would have. No, this was a small, so-called eco-friendly car. Harry, Dean Thomas, and Hermione looked at it suspiciously. They did not know who would come out of it, but they got the feeling it would not be someone good. The car stopped. The door opened. A man stepped out. He was tall and pale-skinned. He was a younger man, with only a thin layer of hair hidden underneath his shirt. He was wearing a t-shirt and sweatpants and sneakers. Only a thin layer of hair. Yeah, a small, so-called eco-friendly car. Fucking Voldemort drives a Prius. Okay. Oh, to really drive home how evil he is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, guys, this is great. No one seemed to take much notice of him. But then the Reverend's wife stepped onto the scene. She screamed. She fainted. At the sound of her cry for help, the Reverend Dumbledore came running to the rescue. So many so-called pro-women's rights people think that Ephesians 5:22-25 is just about wives being submissive. What they don't talk about is that it also tells husbands to sacrifice for their wives. Wow, does that sound oppressive? When he saw the man who had gotten out of the car, he stopped and gasped. And then he shouted,
Stand back, students! This is Voldemort himself!
Does that sound oppressive? Yes! Yes, it does! Wives, submit unto your own husbands as unto the Lord, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as the Christ is the head of the church. He is the Savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. There it is in question. From Ephesians. Also, Proverbs was mentioned. Pretty good before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. The Bible is starting to sound like word salad. Starting to sound like word salad? Chapter 14. Bravely defeating the foe. Hello, friends, I have some news. And I know that it might be disappointing to the mommies out there. My husband and I had a very long talk last night, and he doesn't think that posting my writing online and going to classes is a good idea for our family. It was a hard decision for me to accept, but he does know best. I want to thank all the many righteous believers who have supported me in this little mission of mine, and I hope that this last chapter ties up the loose ends as best as one chapter can. Harry gasped, and Dean Thomas gasped too, and Hermione burst into tears as Voldemort ambled through the parking lot. The enormous crowd of righteous students were nervous, but they still stood boldly in the face of such horrifying evil. Dumbledore stood in front of them protectively and manfully. There it is again. My new favorite word, manfully. Harry looked at the depraved man walking toward them, and he thought of all the lies he must have been told by evolutionists and feminists all his life. And he thought of the empty, meaningless depravedness that he would have to distract him from that missing love in his life. And he thought of how one day he would die, and that there would be no happy heaven for him, only the flames of hell. Harry wondered how anyone could be so stupid. Who would want hell more than heaven? It made Harry so angry. Voldemort stopped walking when he was in front of the Reverend Dumbledore. He arrogantly nodded and said,
Hey, my name's Tom Riddle, and I'm here to visit my cousin. Which way is the guy's dorm?
Enough of your lies!
Dumbledore exclaimed bravely.
We know who you are!
Voldemort blinked stupidly, and then he uttered childishly,
I'm sorry, what?
Dumbledore smiled smartly.
You're pretending to be dumb, I see. Well, I'm not stupid. We know all about how much you hate Christians.
What? I don't hate Christians. Dumbledore lied dishonestly.
Well, what are you even talking about? You're still pretending to be dumb,
the Reverend pointed out truthfully.
We all know about your plot to legalize Christianity, Voldemort.
Mike, can we talk about the meta story here about a woman's husband finding out about her writing horny fan fiction about her writing teacher? I think it's obvious. Yes. Yes, that's what's been happening, yes. To an extent. That's part of the joke. That's part of the joke here. It's part of the joke. Voldemort blinked stupidly again and questioned evilly.
Wait, is this about my Reddit account? Is that what you call your godless coven?
Dumbledore queried knowingly.
Well, yes, I have indeed seen your so-called Reddit account, and just try to deny your hatred of Christianity when you post things like this. Christians all sucks. Their religion is stupid and should be illegal. I will write to Congress and tell them to make law.
Harry Potter laughed intelligently, because Voldemort did not even understand proper spelling and grammar.
That was a joke,
Voldemort retorted unintelligently.
That whole account is a joke. I mean, Voldemort the righteous skeptic.
He laughed with the nervousness of one who knows he is damned.
Of course you're not supposed to take it seriously. Do you think religion is a laughing matter, young man?
Dumbledore demanded righteously.
Well, it is not. What sort of joke is trying to outlaw religion? And of course I don't want to actually outlaw religion,
Voldemort uttered deceptively.
That would be ridiculous. I just got annoyed by the ridiculous straw man some Christians have made out of atheism, so whenever I see someone ranting about how depraved and evil we non-believers are, I reply with something like that, taking that stereotype to an extreme to point out how ridiculous it is. Also, a small but vocal minority of atheists exists that stereotypes and mocks anyone who disagrees with them, and they can be just as hateful as people think we all are, and that does some real damage. They bug me as much as the straw man arguments do, and they give those arguments credibility, so I do the same thing to them, replying with an extreme version of what they said to highlight the absurdity of it. So you're making fun of atheism?
Dumbledore interrogated shrewdly.
No, I am an atheist.
Voldemort explained sinfully.
I'm just as I thought.
Dumbledore surmised wisely, and he smiled holily in satisfaction that the Lord had worked through him.
We have been preparing for this day, and we have been preparing for it a long time. Students!
The holy little ones stood at attention.
Convert him!
Dumbledore commanded bravely, and all at once the students began to shout.
You have been tricked by the lies of society.
Harry shrieked knowingly.
You deserve to burn in hell.
Come over here!
Dean Thomas screeched articulately.
Debate me on religion!
I'm just so upset that you don't accept the Bible.
Hermione sobbed femininely.
The Bible is the best book ever. Why can't you just respect that?
I'm a Gryffindor hat now.
Draco yelled boldly with the inspiring zeal that so many newcomers to the faith have.
Do you hate me now? I bet you do.
Voldemort covered his ears with the discomfort that heathens often find themselves with when they are confronted with the truth. And he shouted loudly to drown out the word of the Lord.
You've been preparing to do this, to scream at me.
It is the work of the Lord.
Dumbledore explained accurately.
Aren't there better ways to spend your time than preaching to a bored idiot who makes fun of people on the internet?
Voldemort questioned hedonistically.
Your lord seemed to be pretty concerned about helping the people around him. Is that not his work anymore?
How can we focus on helping people when there are people like you trying to destroy...
Wrong voice. It's just too many. Yeah, another layer of irony. It's like 6-dimensional fucking irony chess.
How can we focus on helping people when there are people like you trying to destroy us?
Dumbledore countered astutely. Verb, adjective, verb, adjective, verb, adjective, verb, adjective.
I told you before that Reddit account is a joke.
Voldemort whined pathetically, but the Reverend shook his head.
I thought that might be so at first,
The Reverend commented fairly.
but it was just too realistic. How is it realistic?
Voldemort inquired uninformedly.
It wasn't even subtle. I waxed poetic about the sexiness of neckbeards and said that Christopher Hitchens has superpowers. It was supposed to be funny. How could you take it seriously?
Dumbledore scoffed, and he replied faithfully.
Like it or not, your little joke is what most atheists today are like. So my Reddit account solidified your conception of atheists as a bunch of anti-Christian bigots who are just angry at God.
Voldemort solicited stupidly, and then he sighed.
Okay, you know what? This has gone too far. I'm sure that most people could tell that I'm not being serious, but if I'm contributing to misinformation and stereotypes, I don't feel comfortable continuing this.
Voldemort pulled an iPhone out of his pocket, and he began to type on it. After a few minutes, he showed the screen to Dumbledore.
See this? I just made a post. I am a troll. It is the last post I will make on that account. Are you happy?
Dumbledore virtuously ignored the heretic, and he returned to the little one standing behind his protection.
Students of Hogwarts, this fool will not listen to reason. Let's save this heathen soul.
All the little ones got down on their knees, and they raised their hands to the sky, and they screamed to the heavens, in the voices of those who knew they were doing great work.
Lord, please make Voldemort a Gryffindor hat.
Voldemort sighed wickedly, and he shook his head godlessly, and then he walked away depravedly. But even as the fornicating, drug-addicted evolutionist disappeared into the distance, the righteous little ones continued to pray. They knew that if they screamed loud enough, they could change the world. The end. Yeah, so I think it reveals itself pretty clearly as a shitpost by the end of it. I went into this knowing that it was a shitpost. I just didn't want to ruin the surprise for everybody because the ending is so beautiful, isn't it? Very meta. There's a little there's a little bit of a boop flavor to it, right? It was a legitimately beautiful ending. It was a good ride. I hope you guys had fun. I had fun reading it. Guys, thank you for watching and listening to this. I hope you enjoyed it. I know probably a lot of you didn't, but whatever. We'll regularly scheduled programming resumes probably on Sunday night. I'd been meaning to get around to this for like a fucking year, but I kept procrastinating it. Yeah, it's a fun ride. Really makes you think. Really makes you think, doesn't it? We learned some things. We had a few laughs. We learned about history, religion. I learned that there's a Minecraft Bible. It was a hell of a ride. It was a boop-like. It was a little bit of a boop. I wish I could see the entire thing. Good news, Mantis Toboggan. I will upload it to YouTube. Let me say that real quick. If anybody is new to the channel, you can find me on Twitter and you can find me on YouTube. There's going to be links in the chat. I will upload this entire thing to YouTube if you want to relive the pain of it. It'll be up there. Also, guys, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my tits for all the subs and the resubs and the bits and everything, guys. Thank you so much for all the support. Also, if anybody by any chance made art for the stream tonight, you should put it on the Buru. I'm gonna look at the art real quick. It looks like there might be some art there on the Buru. So I'm gonna check that out. I won't stream tomorrow night, I don't think. I think I'm gonna take a little break tonight. Tomorrow night, excuse me. You can see my point. Tomorrow night, no stream. I think Sunday night, Paper Mario. I think is what's gonna happen. And guys, thank you again for the support. And Bouge the dude, thank you for the bits. And Fax Jacks, back to the baby. Thank you for the resub. If anybody has a fanfic that they think they'd like to see me read like this on stream, just message me, email it to me. Send it to my email. It's send it to m6000w@outlook.com. It's people in chat were saying I'd like to see you do more things like this. Again, the fanfics that are worth reading are very few and far between. TurboTail says Sonic High School. I already read that one. Here's the thing, guys. I can't read anything that's aggressively not, NSFW, Like if it obviously violates Twitch TOS, I can't do it. And I don't have to tell you this. Most fanfics do violate Twitch TOS. Lucario killing Hitler? That one is only 2 paragraphs long, and I read most of it at one point. Right? Stream it on Pornhub. Hold on a minute, guys. Let me get the Buru going here. What do we got here? What do we got here? Display capture. Oh, all right. We'll start with this one. I want to know how to fix the display capture's all fucked up. There it is. This is from. All right, that's not gonna work. Bacon Cat. And it looks like Septic the Shitlog is trying to outrun being copied, I'll say, by Kirby.
Yeah.
Alright, Big Cat, I have a question. What's the power that Kirby gets, and what does he look like? Kirby, you do not want to do this, man. What's the power? First art of the new year. Came up with this awful idea watching you play Smash. I'm not drawing the result of this because the fear of the outcome is stronger than the outcome itself. is what Bacon Cat said. Very nice. Thank you, Bacon Cat. Man, Septic's been very popular lately. From Dry Crob, Jesus was a socialist, changed my mind. Very nice. I did say this earlier tonight. This exact thing was spoken earlier. Love Dry Crob, thanks. He was! Look at everything he said he was! It's true! Okay. This is from Nihilist Gangster. It's a reference to this, which we were looking at earlier tonight, right? Are you involved in batchcraft? Not Nihilist Gangster wants to know. And you don't even know it? Do you do any of the following? Colonoscope, yogurt, chakras, Harry Plopper, tarot cards, hypnotism, acupuncture, astrology, Ouija boards, psychic reamings, plumberology, Pokemon go to the stalls, fortune dookies, superstition, dream batchers, dung shui, diarrhea incarnation, shit guards, Halloween. If so, stop. It's all batchcraft. Repent and come back to Christ. Teach others that these things are occult. Wow. Nihilist Gangster, I love this. Thanks so much. Don't be involved in batchcraft. There's one more here. It's from Carrion Doll. I lazily drew this. Please ignore the background lazily drawn. I didn't want the background to be textured and boringly. So that's the Mask Boy, and he's reading you guys a fun bedtime story. Reading the chat and Bunglepuss a fun bedtime story. The cross is upside down, and it's crossed off. Wasn't a satanic story. If anything, it was like atheistically motivated, but it wasn't, you know. Alavopix, thank you for the gift sub to Nihilist Gangster.
Welcome to the family.
Carrion Doll, love the art. Thank you, bud. Alright, bedtime story is over. Everybody go the fuck to sleep. Go the fuck to sleep. I love all of you. Have a great night. Tito wants me to try opening VC Face as a No, I'm gonna put this on YouTube, Tito. Maybe I'll do a test stream. I'll just try it again during another stream. Rylos needs me to call him a bad word before I go. Rylos, you are a smelly crust warrior. You're a smelly crust warrior. Now have a good night. Go the fuck to sleep. I'll see you guys Sunday. Love you all. Take care. And stay blessed.